Ladies and gentlemen, Caravan fans, my name is Matt Malloy, the voice of the Caravan, here with the best color commentator in the Catholic League. Excuse me, Christos Stemus. How you doing, man?
Doing great, Matt. It's a
Doing
little
good.
chilly
A little
these
cold.
days, getting late in October, but football's still going strong, so I love it.
I'll tell you what, it's getting colder, which means it's getting later in the season, but the anticipation that has been carried on from June to July to August has remained the same. It's been constant the entire way through. I will say though, every time I go away from home, whether it's vacation or visiting family, I get a little homesick, right? And I feel like the Caravan kind of feel like that right now, don't they? It's been a while since they've had a home game against Loyola Academy. This is by far one of the marquee, one of the biggest matchups every year. No matter how well each team is doing, there's just so much tradition and history behind it. It really is a lot like that rivalry between St. Rita and Mount Carmel. There's just so much history that's going into it. It's been building up for the past few years. But really, 2 years ago, and especially last season, it cemented itself as one of the biggest rivalries for both programs. Christos, why don't you go ahead and tell the fans how we've done the past years? I'm sure they already know, but maybe a little recap.
Yeah, just 2 years ago, went down to Loyola, came back. We were down by 10 at halftime. Blaney Dowling led the team to a victory there. Then last year, it was a really close game at Loyola. Took a close loss, though, so that's 1-1 in the past 2 years. I think 3 years ago, it was like 21-19 here at Carmel. So every game we played with them has been within one score in the
Yeah.
past 5 years. And obviously both teams are back-to-back state championships in 8A and 7A. It's everything you could hope for in a Catholic League matchup.
Exactly. And I know, kind of going off of those hopes, people were hoping that both teams would have the same record heading into Friday night's game. They do have the same record. It's 6-2. I think most people were expecting 8-0 or
Yeah.
possibly 7-1, but 6-2 was highly unexpected for Friday night's matchup. But regardless, we're still excited. Both teams have the same record, which means that yes, Friday night, whoever wins will take away the CCL Blue and overall the Catholic League. It's a really big matchup. Right now, we're going to look at some other games, though, that are huge rivalry games. They have playoff implications. We're going to head on into our 2 cents right now. So, Christos, the first game we got to, you picked these out, and you did a great job because a lot of these games, like I said before, they have huge implications, right? People don't realize that week 8 and 9 matter. They have some more weight to them than other weeks. And I think that goes for obviously no matter what league you're in, no matter what division, right? Those games towards the end of the regular season, they hold some weight. For these guys right here, they've already clinched a playoff spot, but now for Nazareth and St. Francis, it depends on seeding. It depends on who they're going to play in the first 2 rounds. This has huge implications. But Nazareth is number 4 in the state. St. Francis, not so much. They were ranked earlier on in the year, had a couple of shaky games. Now they're out of those rankings. Christos, who do you got for this one?
I got to go with the Roadrunners here from Nazareth. I think just their quarterback in Malachuk, we saw him. He's small, but he's probably one of the quickest guys you see out there at quarterback, and he's great on the run with throwing as well. And you look at St. Francis; they had a really tough game that went into overtime against DePaul Prep, which really shouldn't happen with them. I think they're kind of just hitting a roadblock right now in the season, and I think Nazareth is just gonna roll over them.
I absolutely agree with you. And my pick for Nazareth is coming off of the fact that they lost to us 56-33. That final score does not tell the
No.
whole story. I remember you and I were up in the press box around halftime the second quarter. We looked at each other, we were like, this offense is really good.
Yeah.
That Malachuk having an incredible season. It was unexpected. Talking about his size and things like that, it just didn't matter. He continuously made big plays. He was very consistent out there on the gridiron. That Friday night we played them. That was week 3 here at Barda-Dowling. I think they're going to be on the road again here at St. Francis. So that adds a little something, a week 9 away matchup. It's a little tougher than the rest. I still think the Roadrunners are going to pull away with the win and end off the regular season with a record of 8-1. That one's going to be played Friday night at 7:30. The next one, it's I think this is going to be closer than some people might expect. The number 19th ranked team in the state going up against number 10, St. Charles North, the Stars going up against the Vikings from Geneva. One team is undefeated, the other has suffered a loss. Friday night at 7 o'clock at Burgess Field, a home game for Geneva. Excuse me, Christos, who do you got?
This is a really tough game, like you mentioned, man. You got 19 versus 10. Geneva is undefeated so far, and they've kind of crept their way up into the top 10. But I think I'm going to go with St. Charles North here. The reason is just when you look at their strength of schedule, playing teams like Kankakee and the likes, I think they're more experienced. They have a veteran team, and I think they're going to be ready for whatever Geneva has for them.
I agree with you, Christos. I know the difference in ranking might be there, but I don't think the difference in skill is. Geneva they're sitting right there, kind of the brink of the top 10, but, call it an upset, if you will. I think the Stars are going to beat the Vikings in a pretty big Friday night matchup. Like we said before, though, these teams obviously have had great seasons. One is 8-0, one is 7-1, so they're both going to have a shot at a state title. It just depends who's going to have the higher chance, kind of the better setup early on in the playoffs. Next game, Christos. This one might be bigger than Loyola versus Carmel. And coming from us, that's a big statement. It's a big statement. I know, but, we've been talking about this game all week, maybe as much as we have about the Caravan. We're looking at both offenses. We're looking at their rankings, which you might see there. What does that mean, NATL, Christos? What's going on there with IMG Academy?
That means IMG Academy is currently the 6th ranked team in the nation.
Unbelievable.
So, that's a lot to look at right there, Matt.
It's so much, yeah. And East St. Louis is the best in Illinois right now. I really think there's no really argument there. They've had some really big wins. One of them being week 1 against Loyola. They won 34-7.
Yeah.
And by the way, that touchdown came from their defense. It was not offensive. So Loyola has had a rocky start to the season. We'll talk about them later, though. Right now, take a look at this matchup. Friday night at 7 o'clock. Going to be a home game for East St. Louis. These teams played back in 2021. IMG came away with the win 48-9. Personally, I think the tables are going to be turned. Give me the Flyers to take down IMG Academy.
Yeah, Matt, I'd have to agree with you. I think going into that enemy territory in East St. Louis, they're notorious for just being a rough place to play at for away teams. I know you talked to the guys from here from the 80s and 90s, and anytime they played them a few times back in the day, it was always rough going down there in that crazy atmosphere. And I think East St. Louis has something to prove. I've been saying this all season, whether it was week 1 against Loyola or against the other national teams. But IMG thinks they're just going to roll over and take the huge W here. I think East St. Louis, coming off that loss a few years ago from IMG, they're hungry, man, and they want that undefeated season. They want that state championship, but this is one step closer to that state championship. I got them, man. They're tough.
Yeah,
they're dogs.
I'll tell you what. I interviewed Coach Lynch earlier this week, and I said, out of those teams that lost to Loyola, out of the 2 teams that have played Loyola in the past seasons, the one that won in a pretty big win, 42-37, and the one that lost last year, 23-21, which one was more motivated heading into the playoffs? He said the one that lost. And when you talk about losses, East St. Louis has suffered a couple. That's no shot against them. It's just the facts, right? They've lost to Cary Grove now 2 times in the state championship. You don't take that easily, right?
No.
You lose the state championship. You're not playing for, 9 or 10 months. You got to come back, get into the swing of things. Talk about the swing of things. They're definitely in it. They're 8-0 right now, undefeated. IMG Academy, they obviously play a different schedule, so their record, they're 5-1, doesn't hold as much weight as these other teams on this segment. But I still think the Flyers, like you said, they got something to prove, and they're going to prove it Friday night. That one at 7 o'clock. Again, folks, I'm going to watch some highlights of that one. We're we'll be up Saturday, maybe Friday night if somebody posts early. Yeah, we'll be watching that one. Last one though, a very familiar place you and I know, Gately Stadium. Growing up, this is where home games were for Mount Carmel, but now they have become just a huge place for these big public school matchups. Morgan Park, a team we know pretty well, played them last year in a big win for the Caravan, and then the Simeon Wolverines. Both teams are 7-1. I'd say this is a pretty big game on here. You might look at this one. Some people, would say that, public school ball, right? These are the top teams of that league, though, right? I think it's very hit or miss with these Week 9 games. This is a hit right here, folks. You got to be on the lookout, especially, though, for Morgan Park. I'm taking the Mustangs to beat the Wolverines.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, Matt. I think they've built a really good program the last 2 years. We saw it right here.
So just that spotlight on Thornton is huge. A freshman playing at this level, I was speechless when we called that game Week 7 against Joliet Catholic. I was astounded by his skill, and after talking to some of the O-linemen on the team, they said at practice he just showed up and really he acted like a senior receiver. He had the experience, he had the skill, he had the talent. So I think our offense will be pretty good for Friday night, especially with Elliott. I think he's a little more healthy than he's been in the past few weeks. We were worried that he might actually miss this one. That was kind of a thought in the back of our minds a few weeks ago when he missed that game against Brother Rice. But we're good now. And you know what? So is our defense. Heading on into the stats from the other side of the ball, you got to talk about our sacks, man. I mean, last week against Fenwick, Muha had 2. He had a great night. And we have a total of 12 for 90 yards. Muha leading it with 5. Joey Quinn just got an offer from Kansas, his first Power 4 offer. You've got guys like Braden Jones there with 1, recently committed to USC.
Yep.
I'll be interviewing him this week, sitting down with him, getting some thoughts on that. Christos, who else here on the defense is some guys we should really shout out?
Well, you can't forget about the sack master, Tristan Pusateri out of Indiana, right? Takes the South Shore line. He's dedicated every morning. But, man, he's been really a stronghold for this defense. That's just really a consistent guy. He only has 1 sack, but just if you look at his tackles count, too, he's just reliable. He does his job. Obviously, Bone Crusher, Caleb Tucker, he got his first start last week, I believe, as a freshman. That's number 79. If you're facing up against him, good luck. We'll say some prayers. That's all I got to say. And Vince Cronin, he was voted as an alternate captain.
Awesome.
It just shows a lot about his character, and I think he's been really working hard in the weight room and out on the field. And he's been getting in a lot of these plays on third downs and whatnot.
Yeah, we've got a little something for Cronin coming up here soon. That's for our interior defense. As for our DBs, our secondary, they're doing great too. Jackson Barons had an interception after his very good friend, lives on the same block with him, Marty Mann, had a touchdown. It was pretty cool to see for me because I'm related to both of these guys. So I saw Emmett Dowling, a guy I played with back in 5th grade. He threw a touchdown to my cousin Marty Mann, and then right after that on Fenwick's offensive drive, after that they threw an interception to Jackson Barnes. Wild to see. What's even more wild to see is that Javi Payne has 3 interceptions, and he is missing some games here with a shoulder injury. It's not fun, right? We want him to be back Friday night. I've asked him a little bit about it. I've given him his space, though. I understand injuries like that can be big, especially when these huge rivalry matchups are coming up. So I'm still not really sure if he'll be back. We'll have to see. That might be kind of a day of thing if he's ready to go. Yeah. We're hoping he's back, though. And then Xander Gorman, 2 interceptions. The sack master has 1, and Stephen Winkler has 1. So everybody's doing great on here. And then at the bottom there, Muha is just the leader of this defense. There's no question about it. Tackles for loss, he's got 11.5. Last year, he had 10.5 through 14 games. Through 8 games, he now has more than he had of last year. Parker Starts had the most last year with 11.5, but that was also through 14 games. So he is just picking up stats and stats and stats. And I know stats don't tell the full story, but man, if this is any indication of his play style and the amount of determination he has to beat Loyola and pick up a 3rd state championship in a row, this obviously shows it.
Right, and I just want to add, he has, I believe, 72 tackles through 8 games, right? So he's on track to beat his record, God willing, but that's just ridiculous, right? I think Ugabike is behind him with about 60, but you're definitely right. He's the leader of this defense.
Absolutely. Talking about leaders, key players for the next game. At the bottom of your screen, we've got Danish, Vince Cronin. That's his nickname. If you want to know where it comes from, you can go talk to him about it. Trust me, it's nothing inappropriate. It's a pretty funny story, though. A little long one, though, so we won't tell it.
Yeah.
We won't tell it here on the broadcast, but he's Danish. That's all you need to know about him. Back up at the top, though, my cousin Garrett Mann, number 40, the inside linebacker. He has found his place on special teams.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. I like to call him a Swiss Army knife. I actually told him that today, and he gave me kind of a face like, okay, I kind of like that. And he really is. He can do it all in special teams. He still holds that linebacker personality, though.
Oh, yeah.
The way you talk to him, he's a funny guy. He's a great guy to know. I'm glad he's my cousin, man. I get to see him a lot. He's got 8 total tackles on the year, one of them being a solo.
All right, then you can't look at the season without looking at Nico Mullen, right? Came in week 1, first time playing football, trained a 37-yarder, I believe. He's 37 for 40 on extra point at times. He's been very consistent. And, Matt, you brought this point up before, or someone did, but he doesn't even really practice kicking on the sidelines during games. He sees that more as a mental block. He just likes to run out there and just kick it. Like, he's just ready to go, and I love that. That says a lot about him. Now, Matt, you want to talk about the freshman we were looking at earlier?
Absolutely. I mean, Week 7 was a big week for us, announcing it on the Marquee Sports Network. I think he had the biggest week out of them all, though. Picked up a touchdown on that game, and look at his stats through 3 games: 9 catches, 163 yards, and then that touchdown I just mentioned. A stat line like that through 3 games as a freshman on varsity. I mean, give the kid his flowers. That's awesome. It's really hard mentally to play like that because you're younger, you can't change that fact, but you have to change it in your head. If you approach a game like that as a younger guy, even as a sophomore like Quentin Burrell, you gotta act like a leader. You gotta act like an older guy. You gotta be more mature out there on the field, right? Pick up less penalties. Don't drop the easy ones. We could go on and on. He's doing great so far, and I would love to see him have a big game Friday night. Yeah, and then going back to Nico though, great guy to know, but also he's a 3-sport athlete,
Yeah.
which is incredible. Plays soccer and baseball as well, so he's a leader for all these programs. And then there's Vince Cronin, and he's Danish. So these are my 4 key players of the week. Obviously, other guys are going to make some big impacts, but I think these are some guys that deserve a spotlight that maybe they haven't been getting all season long. Moving on now, our player of the week, the Jones file, man. I'm kind of shocked we haven't done him yet. Number 99, the junior defensive lineman, edge rusher, Braden Jones. I'm going to cut right to the chase. He's going to the Big Ten. He's playing for USC. He had a total of 24 offers over the offseason, decided this past October 13th that he was going to go play for the Trojans. When asked about it, he said he just liked the vibe. It was as simple as that. It wasn't really that complicated. He liked the coaches. He liked the LA atmosphere. He liked the fact that, they're in the Big Ten now, which is a little change of scenery for him. Here at Carmel, though, he's having a great junior year. He's still got a senior season with bone crusher, which he's talked about a little bit. I think our D-line, for our entire time here at Carmel, and obviously years past, they've been dominant, man.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just in a long line of guys that have gone on to play college ball, even professional ball at that. I think the ceiling's the limit for him. Right now, though, Christos, what does his stat line look like?
Hey, you look for the season, he's got 35 total tackles, 5 of them being solo. He's got a tackle and a half for loss, a sack, a couple deflections, and he recovered a fumble. Those stats don't say enough about him, Matt, though, because I think a lot of times people don't realize he's getting double-teamed every single play, and they're like, well, why doesn't he have 50 tackles, or why doesn't he have 10 sacks or whatever? Dude's getting double-teamed, and he's given opportunities to everybody else on that D-line, which I think says enough about him.
Right. I still remember, if we play offenses that, have a heavy backfield, he'll get double teamed on the line, break through, and then there's a running back right there that's about as big as him ready to block him. So he wastes all of his energy getting through, and then he's ready to sack the quarterback, and it's just too late. So that's nothing on his part. I think USC will shape him into being a great player, but right now he's just doing the best he can, and the best he can is winning us games on defense.
Oh, yeah.
He led us in that Week 2 shutout against St. Rita. Without him, that wouldn't have happened. I think the Mustangs would have put some points on the board.
Definitely.
Yeah. Moving on now, Christos, what do we got to know about Friday?
Well, here's some keys to the games for y'all. I think, like we said, this game is the game. The winner here wins CCL Blue. Obviously, Loyola is 2-0. We're 1-1. But if we win this, we're going to be crowned champions of CCL Blue, and that's a huge thing. Another thing to point out, whoever loses this game will be playing away to start in the playoffs, which I think is huge, right? Both these teams are so used to having that home field advantage for at least the first 2 weeks in playoffs. They're, who knows what kind of uncharted territory the loser will have to go to, which can do a lot for you in the mental space, right?
I'm looking at you, Quincy. 4.5 hour drive last year.
Don't bring that up again. Right, and I got something else to add, but I'll talk about Thornton first. We talked about this freshman. This is a key piece that I think Loyola was not planning on seeing until about a week ago. So this is a huge adjustment for Loyola, just to have a freshman that's averaging 50 yards a game, that's getting 18 yards per reception, that's had a couple touchdowns, right? And he's great on the deep ball, too. Actually, I think that's his strongest part of his game is those, 40, 30-yard catches right down the sideline. And that just opens up so much more space for Lehman, for Burrell, for McCoy, for all those guys. One other thing I want to talk about too, Matt, is you look at this quarterback matchup, right? I'm just going to take a little flashback back to last year. When you look at some stats here, for Elliott last year, right, he had 247 yards, 3 passing touchdowns. He had his longest play being the 72-yard pass. and he's 20 for 32. Didn't take any sacks, no interceptions. You look on the other side of the ball, Ryan Fitzgerald was just as good, right? He was 7 for 20 at 216 yards, a passing touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns, no interceptions. This head-to-head matchup is exactly what we've been waiting for. And I think whoever wins that matchup is whoever's going to win the game.
I completely agree. That matchup is huge. And I think if you put it in an even bigger light, this is probably the last year that both programs are going to be absolute powerhouses. I know next year there's a very high chance that we'll be at the same exact level, but this is really it, right? This is the rubber match. This is the rubber match. And whenever you look at a rubber match in any sport, it's going to be those leaders. And the leaders on the field are obviously these quarterbacks. These guys committed to SEC and Big Ten programs. These are the guys that are going to have to lead their team to victory. So yeah, you're exactly right. Jack and Ryan, they're going to have some tough plays Friday night. It's going to be hard to stay in there in a big game, but they both have a love for the game. You can see it when you watch the Caravan or the Ramblers. I mean, something else to point out though about Marshawn Thornton. Last year, I remember. Marty Mann was showing me a little bit of the packet they had to kind of get ready for the week and what plays they were going to run, everything like that, just, football knowledge. And a lot of it in there was talking about Loyola's receivers and shutting them down. Heading into this season, back in August, we didn't have Gilliam, right? Dacey, Furlong,
Dupree was our top receiver, really, last year.
We lost all those guys. Yeah. I wasn't freaking out, but I was wondering, who's going to be those guys at the top. I think Loyola's going to have a tough job covering these receivers. Having Marshawn Thornton up our sleeve adds depth to that. And I love the fact that maybe at one point in the game he can make a really big play. And that's going to be the story. In the Chicago Tribune and the Beverly Review, it's going to be freshman for the Caravan comes up with a big play, and that's how we win. So there you go. I'm just, I'm anticipating something big for the guy. Yeah. Moving on now, we've mentioned a lot about it, but to actually see it on your screen, to see these standings is important. Ignatius is at the bottom there. They have an overall record of 3-5, and they have lost to both the Caravan and the Ramblers in the conference. So they're out of the running for not only the CCL Blue, but in the playoffs as well. Things could get interesting here if they lose to Brother Rice Friday night. That will be a pretty big matchup for the Crusaders. If they get upset there, things might get a little weird. They'll have a 5-4 record with a win over Mount Carmel. Interesting, right? But it's unique, and that's what this season has been. All 9 weeks long. Looking at the top, though, Loyola tops it off. They're 2-0 in the conference, and they've got a 6-2 overall record. Caravan follow just behind because, yes, they are 1-1 in the conference, even though they have the same overall record. So the way it shakes out here is no matter who wins Friday night, Loyola or Mount Carmel, they will win the CCL Blue, because even if Rice beats Ignatius, they will only have 6 wins, while the team at the top will have 7 overall. So the best you can be is 3-0 in the CCL Blue. Loyola has the only chance to do that here. So it's going to be interesting. You look at the points for over there. We talk about that earlier on in the season because I think it matters a lot more then. But the Caravan do have the most. They're just shy of 300. And Ignatius, they have more points against than for, which is definitely something uncommon in the Blue. So they've lost 3 games in a row for the Wolfpack. If they can win over Brother Rice, though, might make up for it. Maybe they can make a run in the playoffs like they did last year a little bit. They ended up losing to Loyola.
Right.
Yeah. All right, we're going to head it off, to playoffs. This is a recap for the Caravan as a whole, because the next time we see you, it's going to be playoff time. And these games, we're not even going to be thinking about them because it's win or go home at that point. Right now, though, we can reflect on them. Those 2 losses obviously stand out. We've talked about them a lot on here as well as the broadcast. Hunt Academy and Brother Rice, losing to them by both 4 and 3 points. But we've had some pretty big wins. Naz sticks out to me because they are ranked number 4 right now when we beat them 56-33. I know earlier on I said it doesn't show the full picture, but pulling away in a big game like that absolutely matters, Christos. Yeah. Is there any other wins on here you want to point out before we head on to our next segment?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, that Naz game is huge, and I think that Ignatius game is equally as huge because, being down at halftime, going up a team with 310 rushing yards and no passing yards, and I think it shows that the Caravan can win ugly.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
that scoreboard doesn't reflect that game, but that's something important to have as a team going into playoffs. If you can win ugly games, because a lot of times that's what playoff games are, right? Nothing's going to be perfect. That says a lot about you.
Absolutely. We've got a kickoff here at 7:30. Look on the right-hand side of your screen. It staggers by each Friday and Saturday. Obviously, we play every week. 5 rounds in the playoffs. Those first 2 will be pretty interesting. You might see a couple of long car rides there. I don't know, though, right? We can't anticipate it too much. We're just going to have to take it as it comes. That's all we've got for football, folks. We're going to move on now into something that's pretty big here. I'll start off with this, Christos. Mount Carmel is honoring Domestic Violence Awareness Month with programming at tonight's game, highlighting a new direction, a program of wings. A&D provides education, counseling, legal advocacy, and needed referrals to individuals affected by domestic violence in the Beverly and Morgan Park area. Christos, you've had your hand in this this week a whole lot more than I have. You've led this charge as the student body president to make it aware that it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I'm going to let you take the floor here. Say whatever you need to say. It's a pretty big event we have, and not only is it big, but it's important.
Yeah, I'll give you a quick rundown of what we're working with here, right? Collaborated my aunt, actually, Erica Swanson. I want to give a lot of credit to her. She kind of helped set this up with me as well. She's one of the directors over there. We've coordinated. We're getting over 1,000 wristbands that say Mount Carmel and A&D working together. It's got the domestic violence hotline on the inside. We'll be handing those out at the game for those of you that are there. Right, we're donating our dress down funds from last week and this week to the organization. We're going to be the point is, though, to just raise awareness for domestic violence and maybe for those people who know someone who needs some help, right? And there'll be an informational table there with someone working it. So if somebody wants to stop by to support or just get some information, I think it's really important that we're kind of putting them on the map. Not only for those at the game, but for the thousands that'll be watching. It'll reach a huge audience, Matt, and I think it benefits both sides.
Absolutely. Something I'll say is we get so caught up in these games, right? It becomes the most important thing of the week. Looking back at that Joliet Catholic game and honoring Mr. Kevin Hansen, that was just such an important event and night for us. And now that we have A&D through Wings helping us out, to raise awareness for domestic violence. I just think this trumps the football game. It makes it a whole lot more important. And I'm glad we're doing this dress down for the students. I'm glad we're making parents and adults informed of what Mount Carmel is doing to raise awareness. Overall, it's heartwarming, it's wholesome, and I think it's needed in our community. This is a perfect way to do so with such a big game like this on Friday night. All right, well. This is presented to you by your members of the Caravan Media Group. Leonard, we're going to send it back here to the table now. We're in the huddle. It's gotten pretty dark, Christos.
Yeah, it is.
We like to talk, I think. The sun was up when we started, and now it's down. I guess I'll say it with this. We're seniors. This is our last regular season game as being kind of the forefront of the Caravan Media Group. And, man, thanks for tagging along with me through this. I think it's pretty poetic, if you will, that we get to end it off with such a big game. I know in the playoffs we'll have a couple games there, but this is our last big production. We're going to have basketball later on in the year. We're going to have fight night, but right now I just want to soak this in. The lights are on. It's dark out, though. We better go home. Yeah. All right, Christos, thanks, buddy, for doing this. Leonard,
thanks for having me.
Thanks for producing. Miss Menke, thank you for dealing with us and putting up with us for the past 3 years. This is it, though, for Caravan football for the regular season. And now I can literally say good night, Chicago, because of how dark out it is. I can see the moon right there. All right, fans, thanks for tuning in. The game will be coming up at 7:30 for kickoff in just a few short moments. Good night, Chicago.
So long.
Lord, we thank you you for this day.
Lord, we thank you for this day.
Grant us guidance in our play.
Grant us guidance in our play.
Give us strength in our hands and hearts.
Give us strength in our hands and hearts.
Play the fair and sportsman's part.
Play the fair and sportsman's part.
Courage, pride, self-esteem.
Courage, pride, self-esteem.
For goal guarantee.
For goal guarantee.
The Lady of Mount
Caravan.
One chance for the world, one hope can save us now. Our time for history.
The miracle on 64th Street has indeed come true.
Brave hearts will win the day. Run strong all the way. It's time for you and me. 'Cause nothing can hold us down.
Mount Carmel, the state champion.
On the ground, nothing can hold us down. On the ground.
From Mount Carmel, it is 4 in a row. Mount Carmel Caravan have a 14-0 season.
We can be heroes.
Mount Carmel Caravan are going where they've been many times before.
This is the moment of a lifetime. The clock's ticking like my lifeline. Until I flatline, I push it to the red line. Who gon' stop me high? Who gon' stop me high? Breathtaking, a move that I make. I give it everything I got. 'Cause that what it takes. I push the limit till it break. The heart of the brave. The soul of a legend with the will to be great. Hold up. The soul of a legend with the will to be great. Hold up. Who gon' stop me in my moment? Who gon' stop me when I'm going? You can't break me, I don't back down. I'm like a king, give me my crown. Who gon' stop me high? Yeah. Who gon' stop me high? Yeah. Who gon' stop me high?
Let's see if he can outrun the defense. He is gone. Touchdown! Woo-hoo! Wow, what a run. Intercepted. Going to the end zone, and he finds it. Touchdown, Mount Carmel. Instead, it's on the option. An opportunity for McGraw. He's done it.
Championship number 15, tied for the most in Illinois high school football history.
Mount Carmel has done it. Again and again and again.
Ladies and gentlemen, Caravan fans, welcome back to Barda-Dowling Stadium here at Cary Field. My name is Matt Malloy, joined here with my good friend and color commentator Christos Demas. Christos, how are we feeling about tonight's game?
It's amazing, Matt. Just listen to this atmosphere. Look at this atmosphere. Been waiting all year for this CCL Catholic League matchup, the championship for Catholic League, and here we are.
Man, the CCL Blue is just such a competitive division, not only within the Catholic League, but across the entire state of Illinois, and for some, the entire nation. Tonight, these two teams, one ranked at number 3 for the Caravan, the other, Ramblers, ranked at number 5. These guys going to be going head-to-head. For the third time in a row, they're playing for the division. Last year, the Ramblers won in a heartbreaking 23-21 loss. The Caravan suffered that, but it motivated them to go win back-to-back state championships. The Ramblers went 14-0 last year, winning the 8A. Caravan won the 7A. 2 years ago, however, Mount Carmel did win over Loyola 42-37, and then they went to go be 14-0, undefeated. These teams, the past 2 years, 27-1 record for those total 2 seasons. Those 1 losses were to each other.
Yeah, Matt, you put it perfectly, and I want to especially key in on this quarterback matchup that's been long awaited. Fitzgerald from Loyola versus Elliott of the Caravan, Mount Carmel. You know, last year, those were the juggernauts for both teams. Both had, 3 or 4 touchdowns. They led their teams. They both had over 250 passing yards. That's going to be the battle for tonight, Matt.
Absolutely. Coming up right now, we've got a prayer, the Pledge of Allegiance, and very soon, kickoff. Christos, we've got a packed crowd here so far, and I know more and more people are just going to be coming in, lining up, row by row. This is just such a huge game, not only because of the skill and talent level that these football players have, but also because of the rich tradition and history both programs carry. Mount Carmel has been dominant since the 80s, even past that with a lot of city championships and Prep Bowl. But, in the state championship era, they've maintained that success. The Ramblers have had up and down years, but right now they are an absolute powerhouse when it comes to Illinois high school football.
Yeah, Matt, you said it perfectly. Last few years, this has been the matchup that everybody looks forward to. Obviously, both teams winning back-to-back states. And then you look back, we mentioned the past two matchups. You look back 3 years ago when we were here at Barda-Dowling against Loyola, and it was 21-19.
Right.
2-point game. So every single matchup in the last 5-6 years has been within a touchdown for these two juggernauts.
It's just been so close because of how similar these teams are. Incredible coaching staffs, very efficient and quick, swift offenses with powerful defenses that can stop the other team in a big game. Right? Coming up, Caravan are going to receive the kick. Loyola decided to defer to the second half. Zach Seaman out here, kicker for the Ramblers, getting ready to go. Christos, I remember 2 years ago when we were up in Wilmette, it was so windy that, wind coming off the highway, when these guys were practicing field goals before the game, they were making, 40-yarders and things like that. Right now the temperature seems to be pretty good, no wind at all. Folks, welcome to this historic matchup. We've got Lehman and Burrell on the return. Neither of them are going to pick it up. This one goes in the end zone. Going to be a touchback. So Elliott going to have pretty average field position to start off on the opening drive. He's had an up and down season regarding injuries, but stat-wise and just general playing-wise, he's been great.
Yeah, Matt, I mean, you said it right. He's leading the team in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns. He's leading them. You know, he's got 1,700 passing yards this season, 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Most of those came when he was pretty hurt, though, with that wrist injury as well as the shoulder. So it'll be interesting to see. You got to strike first here if you're the Caravan. This is going to be a battle of the offenses tonight.
All right, well, Elliott comes out. He's got 2 receivers out to his right and 1 to his left. That man on the left is the freshman, Marshawn Thornton. He's got a pretty familiar face in the backfield, though. Senior running back, Daniel Taylor. Pass out to the right, complete. Quentin Burrell going to pick it up just before the 30. The Caravan moving downfield on the first play of scrimmage.
That's a great start, Matt. Just keep chipping away with these 6-7 yard passes. I mean, we looked at it in the pregame show, but Caravan are averaging 7.1 yards per play.
Cool. Yeah.
So that's every 2 plays. That's that's a first down.
Look at this. While we were playing the replay, Loyola completely switched their defense. We've got a bunched up receivers to the right. Elliott goes left. It's complete yet again to Burrell. Moves upfield, doesn't get into Loyola territory, but is just there.
This is great, Matt. 2 for 2 to Q. Getting down to about the 50. Momentum's picking up.
That's exactly
and
what you want to see.
I like that hurry-up play, too, there.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of caught him off guard there, I think.
Yeah, both teams have the ability to run a hurry-up offense very efficiently and very well. We see it best with the Ramblers whenever they play Lincoln Way East. They've played them a couple times over the past few seasons, most notably last year in the 8A state championship game. The Caravan tend to run it when they have momentum on their side. Seeing as it's the opening drive of the game, they're going to take things pretty slow and try to go at their own pace. Quentin Burrell picks up 3 receptions very early on. That's 3 in a row, 3 plays, all to Burrell.
Hey, as you always say, Matt, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean,
Exactly.
keep feeding the man.
Yeah,
Go on, Matt.
I was talking to Coach Haggerty, and he said, you know, these teams are so efficient and good at football in general that if they have a play on offense that works, they're not going to be afraid to keep running it. They're going to keep running it against the defense until the defense eventually figures out how to stop it. Caravan come out, trips left, 1 man out to the right. It's Burrell, the guy with 3 receptions. MC opts to run it. Daniel Taylor right up the middle gets the first down and is taken down just about after the 45-yard line.
Matt, I think when you looking back over these past 8 games before tonight, one of the most consistent guys has definitely been Daniel Taylor, especially on the offensive side of things. You know, he's progressively from week 1 been getting better into his new role at running back, and you know he'll get you 100 rushing yards a game.
Absolutely.
He's a guy that you can rely on.
Here we go. Little shake up in the formation. Burrell still out there to the right. 2 men out to the left. Taylor still in the backfield. Elliott fakes the handoff. It's a pass down the middle. Little far. There's a flag on the play that's going to be against Loyola. It was intended yet again for number 4, Quentin Q. Burrell.
As number 1, Donovan Robinson in the coverage.
From the previous spot, first down.
Okay, 15-yard penalty that's going to move us up.
I just want to note that was number 1, Donovan Robinson in coverage. He's committed to Washington. He's a 3-star safety for Loyola, one of their captains.
Right, yeah, a Big Ten school as well. We've seen a bit of a shake-up there with college football, the realignment of the conferences. Braden Jones, he's not out there yet. He plays for the Mount Carmel defense, recently committed to USC.
Yeah, that's weird hearing that Washington and USC in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
Still got to get used to that, Matt.
I keep saying Power 5 conference, and I got to keep myself in check. Elliott going to move over DT. 2 men out to the right. See Gorman there lined up at tight end. Great player on both sides of the ball. The pass out to the left side. Oh, just through the hands of freshman Marshawn Thornton. That was pretty decent coverage there, though, by the Ramblers.
You know what? I love taking that shot, though. Thornton has been great with those deep balls, especially in the past 2 games. You know, he's averaging 20 yards per catch. And I love just taking that risk early on, seeing what can happen.
Absolutely. I like this matchup here. Michael Dooley, the DB for the Ramblers, is a senior, and he's going to be on Thornton, the freshman, all night. You don't see that often here, but it's going to be interesting to see that, not only age gap, but experience gap. Elliott tries to get the Ramblers to go off sides. No flag is thrown. Going to have to go back to the drawing board on this one. 2nd and 10 at the 29-yard line. They're in Loyola territory. Burrell alone out to the right. He's got twins left out there. Timeout taken by the Caravan. That's the first one of the game. We're gonna take a little break here and see what the Caravan can do coming up. All right, Christos, we're back at it. Back at the same spot, the 29-yard line in the Loyola territory. Elliott takes the snap, drops back immediately for a pass. There's pressure, out to the right side. Complete? No, just a little high. Over the top, that was incredible coverage by number 1 on Loyola, Donovan Robinson. We've been talking about him a little so far tonight. Yet again, they're shooting for the end zone with that freshman Thornton, Christos.
Yeah. You know, we talked about it in our pregame show. That's one of the keys for the game, Matt. If you can get Thornton going, I mean, that would have been a 30-yard touchdown right there easily, probably more. But if you can get him going early, we have the upper hand.
Right. So instead of, going in the hands of Marshawn Thornton, that ended up in the hands of one of our guys on the drum line over there. Hopefully a player can catch it next time in the end zone, or maybe we'll just shoot for a first down here, get inside the 20. It'll be our first time in the red zone. I like both options, Christos, as long as we can progress forward. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but we've had a few, mess-ups and mistakes on the opening drive or kickoff. That's another timeout taken by the Caravan, and you got to wonder what's going through Coach Lynch's mind right now. I sat down with him earlier in the week, had an interview. You might have seen it on YouTube or Twitter, Instagram, and he said that penalties is something you got to look out for in a big rivalry matchup like this. But he also talked a lot about just momentum in general and feeling out the game. Taking 2 timeouts on your opening drive is definitely feeling out the game. You're not rushing through things, but at the same time, you are risking not being able to use those timeouts in a critical situation at the end of the first half.
Yeah, man, it'll be interesting to see. Talk about momentum and whatnot. 4th downs is a huge part of this matchup. Last year, Caravan could not convert on 4th. We'll see kind of what this game plan looks like for when it comes to 4th down. What's the point at which you're just going to punt it away?
Right.
And when are you going to go for it?
I absolutely agree. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but it does look like Ryan Fitzgerald is going to start in tonight's game. Just wanted to mention that. But right now the Caravan have the ball, still stuck here at the 29-yard line. It's 3rd and 10. Elliott takes the snap, looks right again. Pressure a little bit. Pass. It was in the hands, but dropped immediately. That would have put them inside the 20. Instead, 4th and 10 is going to come up. So those timeouts, not wasted, but definitely not used to their advantage there, Christos.
Offense is staying out here, Matt.
This is, right, you look back to last year, and what killed the Caravan was they would go for it on 4th and 1, 4th and 2, and they would try to run it, maybe get a quick pass out to the outside, a bubble, a screen, something like that, and it just wouldn't work. The Ramblers defense, they dominated in that aspect of the game. Let's see here, though. 4th and 10. Elliott slings it out to his right. Oh, hit the right hand of Quentin Burrell. Going to be no score, though. Incomplete pass in the end zone. They had 4 tries there at the 29-yard line. None of them came up with positive yardage. And the Ramblers offense going to come out here and see if they can strike first in a really big game tonight.
You needed that one, Matt.
Definitely.
Yeah. Now, not terrible field positioning. I mean, pretty good for Ramblers, getting out about the 30. Be interesting to see how this Caravan defense can respond now. Talked about it in the pregame show, but, you got your leader in Matt Muhai. He's got 71, 72 tackles on the season. He's also got 5 sacks, leading the team in sacks.
Yeah, he's been doing great. He's played in all 8 games. We've seen a lot of guys, especially on the defense, deal with injuries. Talk about injuries. Here's Ryan Fitzgerald. He's been, in and out of it. Right now, though, he looks ready to go. He drops back for a pass. Down the middle, shoots. Oh, there you go. That's number 34 for the Ramblers. You're going to have to watch out for him tonight, folks. Drew McPherson. So not only is Fitzgerald the starting quarterback committed to Iowa, so is McPherson the starting running back. Both guys are huge, huge impactful players for this offense. McPherson is a junior, Fitzgerald is a senior. That takes them down into Caravan country. In opposite territory here. They're looking to come up with another big play. Man, whatever they watched in film worked there, Christos.
It's exactly how they wanted to start out the game.
Fitzgerald, he's got two guys out to his right. These Ramblers love trips, but we're not going to see that early on, I guess. It's a handoff up the middle. McPherson again. That's a great job by number 1 for the Caravan, Gavin Conjar. Only a junior, standing at 5'10", 185. He's taken a huge step, like a lot of other juniors on this Caravan team.
Yeah, Matt, like you said with the defense, a lot of injuries. He's been dealing with a lot of injuries himself this year, but kind of coming into his own now. Conjar, the little brother of Kieran, I believe, was his older brother. He's playing at Wash U right now.
Yeah.
Was on that 2019 state team.
Football family, like a lot of these guys on both teams. Fitzgerald trips right. This is the formation they love. You got to be careful here. Goes left. Is he open? Yes, he is. Christos, that one is going to make our heart stop a little bit. That's 6 points for Loyola and none for the Caravan after both teams get a chance at scoring tonight.
Well, Matt, we knew it was going to be like this. It's going to be a shootout. Whichever quarterback can perform better here so far. Just hitting his open receivers. That's exactly what you want for Loyola.
Well, that's a 3-play drive.
Yep.
There's 8 minutes and 41 seconds left in the first quarter. Plenty of football left, but I think the fact that it only took them 3 plays to get a touchdown is very worrisome for the Caravan. Here comes Zach Zeman. Second time out there on the field. First was for the opening kickoff. Now he gets his first extra point on the day. The Caravan are going to try to stop Zach from coming back out there on the field to kick some extra points. The defense has got to step up here. But right now the offense is going to try to take over, especially Elliott. Like you said, that quarterback matchup is huge.
Yeah, something to keep in mind, too. Loyola, Zeman's a pretty decent kicker. So we'll see if they do choose to go for some field goals tonight on a 4th and long, what his range is.
All right, folks, here's Elliott. Right behind him, Nick Lewanski, number 52. Right tackle for the offensive line. That's been an up and down conversation. Zion Elliott is out there as well. Used to be at Loyola, now he's here at Mount Carmel. We're very happy to have him. He's a very big player. Has such a huge impact on protecting Jack, which when you have a guy committed to an SEC school, I really think no matter where he's playing on the field, you gotta watch out for him. You gotta play to his strengths and try to play together with him. Comes Zeman with another kickoff. That one in the end zone again. Going to be another touchback. Burrell and Lehman haven't touched a ball there on a kick yet. Only been 2 of them, though. I mean, it's very early on in the game, right? This is going to be a slow burn. Eventually, it could turn out into a shootout. Teams might be going real quick here like the Ramblers just did on that opening drive. But as for right now, it's been kind of slow.
Exactly, Matt. Yeah, you look at the Caravan. They had 7 passing plays, only 1 run play. But I think we're going to see a lot more of the run game.
Absolutely.
Maybe try and stop this momentum. We'll see.
Talk about the run game. Here comes number 25, Madden Wilson. Had a huge touchdown last Friday against the Fenwick Friars. Elliott, twins right, Thornton out there at the X. Looks for Lehman, though. Picks up his first catch of the day, and it's a pretty decent one. This is Mr. Reliable for the Caravan, Christos.
Yeah, man, I know I keep saying it every week, but you got to go back to that game early on in the season, 255 receiving yards. Totally shattered the Mount Carmel record for single-game receiving yards.
That stays up there in my brain sometimes when I think about this receiving core. Exactly. And shout out to Coach Landon Cox coming in his first year just teaching these guys how to play at that position. Wilson just going to run it up, hits the open gap. Gets enough for a first down. Pretty short gain, though, That's a great way to get accoladed to this huge game. I actually sat down with Madden earlier this week, talked to him a little bit, interviewed him, put that on our socials just to kind of get a feel of what his mindset was like. Madden's a pretty fun guy to be around, a great guy to talk to, and you know, it was just a pretty lighthearted interview, right? He is very excited for this game. He's just excited to get the ball and get some reps in. Elliott, though, this time gonna pass, shoots downfield, a huge one. Does it have the distance? No. Burrell gets tripped up around the 25-yard line, falls pretty much face first. That's gonna be incomplete yet again. Not something you want to see here when they're in their own territory trying to move downfield.
Couple early deep shots for the Caravan on this first quarter. They can't really convert on that yet, though.
Yeah.
I think you got to just keep sticking with the short game here. Talking about a game of momentum, just try and build that momentum block by block.
There we go. I really like the way you worded that, block by block, because that goes for every game, but I think for a game of this stature, of this you know, energy and the rivalry part as well, that's exactly how these guys should play it. Elliott fakes the handoff, pass down the middle. This time it's complete to Burrell. The 30, the 20, one man to beat. Yes, he's got it. Touchdown, Caravan, baby. We're going to put a sticker up here on the board. 6 points for Mount Carmel. If they get the extra point, it's a tie game early on in the first.
You know, block by block, but why not just build a whole wall, Matt?
There we go.
There we go. We get the touchdown to Burrell. That's his fourth reception of the night. Caravan strike back with a quick answer on just a 1.5-minute drive.
Man, that's the play you wanted to see. We opened up on the opening drive. He had 3 catches in a row, but then we got stopped by the defense and weren't able to convert for a touchdown, or really even for a first down at their 29-yard line. On that play right there, though, that just proves that we have the ability to play up with the Ramblers. You know, because heading into this game, I really don't think there was a true underdog, right? But who had more momentum? You know, I think it's debatable, right?
Yeah.
No matter, you know, regardless, though, that shows that the Caravan have it, right? Going down 7-0 isn't easy in a big game like this. To be able to come back, use your number 1 guy at the receiving position, that's great. Almost gets tripped up there, as you can see, but runs it in, celebrates a little bit. Tie game after that extra point is good.
Just want to mention that extra point from Nico Mullen. For those of you who don't know, Mullen is also a huge piece on the soccer team. They're playing in the regional championship tomorrow against Hinsdale Central. One of the best teams they've had probably since that state run in 2016.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys want to check out, there's an article on him being a 3-sport athlete and juggling soccer and football. You can check it out at the mccaravan.org.
Absolutely.
Louis Cheney.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Cheney had a fun time writing that one. But I believe you just wrote an article about how Coach Godinez and Brandon Razzo won the Lawless Award. And Coach Godinez said it himself. He's like, this is one of the best teams we've had since that state run. So yeah. I think that definitely makes a point when the head coach is talking like that. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Mullen kicks it away. The Ramblers going to receive it here. This is the first time they've received a kickoff on tonight at the 50, the 40. Mullen tries to take him down but can't. His helmet goes flying. He's eventually pulled out of bounds at around the 30-yard line. Little scuffle ensues, but that's bound to happen in a big game like this. Number 1, Donovan Robinson there on the return. And Christos, that's just big play after big play for not only the Ramblers offense, but special teams as well.
Well, that's Big Ten football right there. I mean, that return, like we said, that's exactly how Loyola is playing this game, exactly how they want to play it.
Just saw there on your screen the O-line taking a look at things, but let's take a second at the opposite side of the ball, the D-line here. You got the Bone Crusher, Joey Quinn and Braden Jones trying to get at Fitzgerald, who looks to throw, almost gets pulled down. Almost. Yet another touchdown for the Ramblers, but it's going to be incomplete. That one was intended for McPherson again.
And that was number 3, Javi Payne, on coverage here. He's finally back after a dislocated shoulder against Brother Eyes. Payne, even though missing a few weeks, is still the interception leader for the Caravan. He's got 3 on the season.
Javi's a dog, man. Like, without him, this defense would have a gap in it for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You know? It's like that for a lot of guys out here too, but that shoulder injury definitely, they could feel his absence, his lack of presence there. Fitzgerald takes a snap. It's a handoff right up the middle to McPherson. That pass was on the latest play was intended for him. This time he'll pick up a couple of yards on the run game, use his legs there to force through the line. Christos, what I've seen so far, though, is these big plays are going to hurt either team. Quentin Burrell just had a huge touchdown there. And the next play, the Ramblers respond with running it down to the opposite field. They flip the field on the kickoff. That's something you got to avoid. Fitzgerald alone in the backfield. 5 wide, trips right this time. Look out for the blocking by these receivers here. That is definitely one of their strong suits, not only on the offense, but the entire team. Fitzgerald looks right.
Oh,
pressure. Gets sacked. Stuffed in the backfield. There's a flag on the play. A very physical dog pile there. Nobody even goes down. Fitzgerald clearly upset with a couple of the Caravan players.
He's getting into it with Roman Iguabike.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a little less physical, maybe a more you know, what they were saying there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see here what the head official has to say. Coach Lynch talking it over.
74. That penalty is declined. Now.
Okay, so it was a penalty on number 74. That was before the, you know, like not really a fight, but just a little scuffle there.
Yeah.
That was before that ensued. It was holding on number 74 for the Ramblers. Coach Lynch declines it. And now something we haven't seen so far tonight. A 4th and long situation for the Ramblers. The Caravan were just in one on their opening drive. 4th and 10 at the opposite 29, ended up incomplete. The Ramblers going to go for this one, and I would expect nothing less, man.
No.
Fitzgerald trips right, takes the snap, drops back, pressure right away. He's able to get it off, though, in time. That's complete, and it's going to be a touchdown for Loyola. They convert a 4th and 11 at the opposite 27-yard line into 6 more points that they can use to their advantage to just continue this insane momentum they've had in the first quarter. 13-7 is your score, folks.
Matt, that was just created by the offensive line there. Excellent blocking there. Gave him plenty of time, and if he wanted to, he could have just ran out to the right, too, and gotten the first down.
Definitely. That was pulled in by number 8, Conlon Kane. He's a senior receiver for the Ramblers, and thrown, obviously, by Fitzgerald. Zeman's kick, the point after, is good. 14-7, just under 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Pretty eventful night so far, folks. You know, 3 touchdowns, and there's many more to come.
Consider beginning a recurring monthly gift to Mount Carmel High School. Since December of 2022, we have increased our recurring gifts from 38 to 154, and donations from $30,000 to $117,000 annually.
Folks, Ramblers have the lead. Only 7 points, though. There's plenty of football left to be played. That's the third touchback we're going to see tonight there for the Ramblers. Caravan just going to take over at pretty standard field position. And this is how it's going to be, back and forth for 48 minutes. They're just going to be going touchdown, stop, touchdown, stop. You know, this is what it's going to be like. This is a shootout at heart. And I think it's bound to be with the amount of skill that are on both offenses. Both defenses are obviously incredible with the amount of D1 commits they have and how well they're coached. But defense wins championships for a reason. It's harder to stop a team than it is just go full force down the opposite side of the field. We're going to see if the Ramblers can stop Elliott and his offense here. Pass down the middle, broken up by number 14 of the Ramblers, Charlie Daly. Plays both sides of the ball. He's a senior. linebacker, and tight end. Lehman not able to pull it in there. Incomplete.
Well, Matt, you got 3 really good weapons for Elliott on the receiving side, and any one of them can get hot at any moment. Also seen a lot of play from Madden Wilson early on, switching it back and forth with him and DT. So you got options to answer.
Definitely, Christos. We're going to see what they can do here. Caravan still at the 20-yard line. A lot of weapons. A lot of weapons. Like you just mentioned, let's see which one we're going to go to. Twins left, one man out to the right. Elliott drops back for a pass. It's going to look to be a big one. Over the head of Marshawn Thornton. Really nothing new. We've seen a couple of them go high. And that's just, you know, incredible coverage there by the Ramblers. You got to give them props. Their defense is trained for offenses like the Caravans.
Brings up a 3rd and 10 now. We'll see what Coach Lynch calls here.
It's going to be interesting. There's a lot of things they can pull out of their back pocket, up their sleeve. And when you're down by a touchdown, even if it's the first quarter, in a big matchup like this, might be the appropriate time to use it.
Definitely.
Caravan only have 1 timeout. They've got to save that for the next quarter. The Ramblers have all 3. Elliott drops back. Another pass down the middle, complete to Lehman. 3 men around him, but he falls on his own. Down at the 50-yard line. Lehman, biggest carry on the day.
Right down the middle. He finds the pocket, and him on the run. Lehman with 2 receptions now. Starting to get going early.
Right, he had that one kind of mid-range.
Yep.
Just got him a first down, just enough. That one, though, that's what, you know, if you see that out of Cooper, Caravan are going to run hurry up. They're just going to keep going, hitting Burrell, Cooper, back and forth. These are our top 2 guys, and they've shown it for a reason over the past 8 weeks why they should be pulling in those receptions. Elliott down the middle, overthrown a little bit. Donovan Robinson on the coverage there, but really didn't have to do much. Lehman not even putting his hands out for it. That's kind of a big risk of the hurry up there, Christos. If you go too quick, the pass still has to be on point. Elliott, I mean, these guys are still getting accustomed to the feel of the night, the type of game, what the defenses are doing, how they're switching on the line. These offenses they're struggling a bit, but they're doing pretty well. 14-7, 3 total touchdowns between the 2 teams. Right now they're trying to make it 4. Thornton on the right, Twins left, Burrell and Lehman. It's a pretty scary sight, Christos. Let's see where they go. Wilson in the backfield. Elliott hands it off. Looks to be a loss of 1, maybe no gain, but definitely nothing positive there. Look at this. They just, you know, stuff the gap right there. Madden has nowhere to go. He tries to bounce outside, but his upper body is just already wrapped up. He can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Caravan going to try and ramble on here. 3rd and 10 at their own 48. Time ticking. 4.5 to go in the first quarter. Burrell out to the right. It's a mirrored formation. Elliott rolls out due to the pressure. Does he have a man open? Yes, he does. Burrell keeps his feet in.
Bring up about a 4th and 3 now.
Not a first down, but it's something, you know. If another 4th and 10 came up at your own 48-yard line, a punt is definitely more so in play than it has been so far at the start of the game.
See this replay.
Gets both in there. Nice job there by Q. He's been having, you know.
He's having a day.
Yeah. I mean, 5 receptions for 109 yards already. Wow. Lehman, little reverse there. Tries to bounce outside but can't. The Ramblers sideline is going nuts. Donovan Robinson pulls number 5, Cooper Lehman, down. It's going to be a turnover on downs. Loyola taking over, trying to make this a 2-score lead.
Read that perfectly, Matt. There's Robinson on the tackle. They'll take over at the 50-yard line. Great field position for them. You got to have a stop now as this Caravan defense.
You're exact. Sorry about that. You're exactly right, Christos. If there's a time to come up with a big play, stop the other team, especially the offense here, you got to do it now. You go down 21-7 heading into the second quarter. It's just, the momentum is shifting one way for sure on the scoreboard, but also just here on the field in general. It's a quick little pass out to the right side. But we haven't seen a designed play like that from Loyola so far this game. Their playbook is very diverse. I think looking at film, what I've seen is they absolutely love just running 5 wide, keeping that backfield open and free for Fitzgerald to do his thing. And they then use that to their advantage with their receivers and the size of them. These guys are pretty big.
Yeah, you just look at 87 Loftus. Look at that guy.
I remember 2 years ago they had a couple of tight ends that, looking at them, they could play on the line, They can catch a ball too. Here's McPherson. Avoids some tackles, gets the first down just past the 40-yard line, charging downfield. Loyola looking pretty good right now.
Looking very good, Matt. Just got to keep pushing, try and force it to that 4th down.
You force them to a 4th. If they're deep enough in Caravan country, they're going to go for it.
Oh, yeah.
And Mount Carmel has to use that to their advantage. That's the play they've got to lock down and get the ball back in Elliott's hands to try to get Lehman and Quinton going. If those guys get cold early on, that is not something that is going to be helpful for them. Gerald, handoff to McPherson. Bounce back on the line. Going to be no gain. Great job there by the D-line.
Yeah, see the replay here. Looks like Braden was in on that one.
That's an incredible hit. Wraps him up on the upper body because he knew his feet were already tangled a bit by other guys like Joey Quinn there. Had maybe 3 or 4 trying to bring him down. Fitzgerald, twins left, trying to get the Caravan to go off sides. I mean, when you've got you have 2 Iowa commits in your backfield. That team chemistry's got to be pretty good.
Yeah.
They're on the same page for sure. Fitzgerald runs up the middle, spins around. That's an aggressive play, but these quarterbacks they're gritty, they're tough. Neither guy is soft by any means.
Yeah. You know that if you watched the stream last year for basketball too, Fitzgerald got out there on the court.
He's a dog.
He's diving for every ball, got a few steals. He was making our Northwestern commit, Angelo Cheravino, have a little trouble with sometimes. Obviously, we got the dub, but he's gritty.
I remember that game. I remember thinking, well, he's a quarterback. When he plays basketball, he'll probably play like a quarterback. That's what you see in most guys that are dual or even 3-sport athletes.
Yeah.
That was not the case. He can play both sports very well.
Little Dennis Rodman action out there.
Oh, yeah. Play blown dead after Fitzgerald hands it off to McPherson. Timeout taken by Loyola. That's their first one taken so far this half. Just a little update. The Caravan have 1 timeout left, and the Ramblers have 2. When we come back, at the 32-yard line in Mount Carmel territory, the Ramblers are going to try to convert off of 3rd and 3.
Mount Carmel will host another open house this fall. Join us on Sunday, November 17th to tour our facilities, meet our students, and learn more about the incredible brotherhood of the Caravan. Register at www.mchs.org/visitmc.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, we've got a minute and a half left in the first quarter. The Ramblers came out with some pretty big scoring drives. They have a 7-point lead over the Caravan, who were unable to score on the opening drive, but later on got a big touchdown from the connection between Elliott and Burrell. Talk about connections, man. We just mentioned it, but 2 guys in this Rambler backfield are committed to Iowa. Fitzgerald, the quarterback, and McPherson, the running back. We're gonna keep mentioning it because not only does Loyola have big, talented receivers, they can run the ball,
They can have Fitzgerald run it. Obviously his pass game is incredible. We know that because of how often they do pass. They tend to pass at least 63% in a game this season on average. Just under a minute to go. Fitzgerald takes the snap, hands it off, just going to let the play kind of fizzle out. Pretty decent gain, though. Not a first down, but it's enough to keep the momentum going in their favor.
You just look at the patience there from McPherson. Like you said, he's letting the play sizzle out, and then he finds a gap, makes a read. That patience is really helping them out right now.
Talk about patience. 2nd and 5. This D-line has got to be careful to not go off sides here. Fitzgerald, pass out to the right, complete just before he's pushed out of bounds. It's number 2, Tavares Harrington on the coverage there. Yep, Harrington.
Yep. He'll bring up a 3rd and short. And
there
that'll
we go.
be the end of the first quarter.
At the end of the first quarter, man, we've got 14-7, a gritty, close shootout. This is by far one of the biggest games. I got to say one of, because IMG is playing East St. Louis down south. But as far as Chicago League, Chicago Conference that goes, this is the biggest game tonight, and both teams have lived up to the hype so far.
The high school entrance exam will take place on Saturday, December 7th at 8 a.m. 8th graders are highly encouraged to look into why Mount Carmel is a special place and might be the right fit for them. Join the Caravan. Join our brotherhood.
Building men since 1900 through Catholic Carmelite values. Time does not stand still, but one thing at 64th and Dante does. Our mission of teaching boys to become men. Our motto states, you came to Mount Carmel as a boy. If you care to struggle and work at it, you'll leave as a man. Come experience how Mount Carmel changes lives. We are MC.
All right, Caravan fans, we're back here. It's 3rd and pretty short here. 3 yards to go. Fitzgerald got Twins left. I'd be pretty surprised if they pass it, though. Yeah, just going to run it up the middle. I don't think he got it, though. Nope, he's short. Fourth down coming up for the Ramblers. This is going to be a tough play. If the Caravan can stop him here, that would halt Loyola from charging down and making it a 2-score game.
Great stop there at the D-line, and Muha was getting in on there. So, yeah, like you said, 4th and 2. Game of 4th downs. Got to get a stop here.
This is exactly what it was like last year, Christos.
Yes, it
Just
was.
a lot of back and forth on 4th and 1, 4th and 2. And to be honest, on both sides of the ball, the defenses really shined in those moments. They came up with big stops. Loyola, I think, did a little more so, and that's why the Caravan weren't able to get past the Ramblers. That pass is complete. It's enough for a 1st down. That's a huge conversion off of 4th and short. Picked up by number 8, Conlon Kane. Had a touchdown earlier this game. And Caravan defense trying to stop that from happening again. Fitzgerald's got Twins left, 1 man out, alone to the right. Just going to be a handoff, though, to McPherson. Bounces outside, breaks a tackle, within the 5. Kind of barrel rolls into the end zone. That's 6 more points for Loyola. Touchdown is good, confirmed. 20-7 coming up, the extra point to put them up even further over the Caravan.
This is going to be hard now, Matt. 2-score game for the Caravan. Not really a position that they've been in this season.
No, they have not. It's always been close. They've been down. I mean, for example, last Friday night they were down 10-7 heading into the second quarter with the Friars from Fenwick, but I've never seen them be down this much. Extra point is good, 21-7. At the start of the second quarter, the Ramblers making it known that they may have lost to East St. Louis, they may have lost to St. Francis, but they are not trying to lose to their rivals from Mount Carmel. All right, folks, we're back. Zach Zeman going to kick it away. He's had a couple of these kickoffs so far tonight. I mean, you know, a lot of back and forths. A lot of scoring drives, most of them for Loyola so far, though. Caravan have got to bounce back here. That one, another touchback. Burrell not going to take it. Here we go, man. Christos, this is where the Caravan can lose it. The Ramblers really have nothing to lose here on this for their defense. I mean, if the Caravan score, it's still a lead for Loyola. But if the Caravan cannot get any points on the board here, that's when you start struggling a little more. It's a 14-point game right now. If the Ramblers get the ball back in their hands, it could turn out to be a whole lot worse heading into halftime.
You need this here, man.
Elliott Wilson in his backfield. Thornton outright. Twins left, pass, incomplete to Burrell.
Caravan trying to go back to what they started with this game. Did so well with Burrell early on in the first quarter.
They're trying to go back to that, like you said, Christos, but it's hard to go back to something when the momentum has shifted to the Ramblers' side. Just one big play, though, could change everything here. Elliott takes the snap, fakes the handoff, pass down the middle. Incomplete to Thornton. He's thrown a bit behind him, up high, in and out of his hands. That would have put them in decent position there to charge further out of their own territory and more into Loyola's.
Yeah, like you said, just a little bit behind him. I think otherwise could have gotten down to the 45. But now this brings up a big 3rd down for the Caravan. If they can't convert here, they'll certainly have to punt it.
Giving the Ramblers the ball at the opposite 20-yard line is basically inviting them to take an even bigger lead than the one they already got. You can't get so down, right? Elliott takes the snap, looking for that 1st down. That was just intended for Quentin Burrell, but really nowhere near him. A little bit of miscommunication there, excuse me. And that means on 4th and 10 at their own 20-yard line, they're punting it. For a second there, the offense stayed out there on the field. I was getting a little worried, but hey, it's happened in the past where we've done things like this. We've gone for it, but we're just going to punt it away. Quarterback's the punter. Watch out for a trick play here.
Happened once against Loyola.
Right, yeah. This one's just going to be a regular punt, though. Really, really no shock about that. Ramblers take over at their own, 47-yard line, going the other way. They're trying to make it 28-7. That would be a huge lead, just a huge overall vibe for them, That's something they really need. Ramblers lost week 1 to East St. Louis. Total score was 34-7. They're kind of approaching that margin now. If Mount Carmel can step up a little here, maybe on defense, get a big play, punch out the ball, get an interception, something like that, then that would turn the tides a little bit more in their favor. Hopefully we can go down and make this just a 7-point game instead of a 14 or possibly here 21. McPherson runs it out to the left. They've had a couple of big run plays, but most of their most powerful and impactful ones come on the pass game, and there's no surprise about that.
Yeah, man. Like you said, pass game has been dominant for Loyola tonight.
Here we go, Fitzgerald taking over. Trips right. This is, they love this formation. They love running stuff out of this. When Fitzgerald is alone in his backfield, nobody else out there. Drops back, pass right away. It's complete to McPherson. Usually he's running the ball out of the backfield. This time he's charging downfield after catching a pass. Inside the 30, marked down just before the 25. What did I say, man? I mean, they run that so efficiently. So efficiently it makes me mad.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Breaks a few tackles there and just gets an extra 20 yards.
It reminds
He's hard to bring down, Matt.
Yeah. It reminds me of guys that play in the Big Ten already that we've seen play in high school. Darion Dupree comes to mind, of course, because we're homers. We love him. Played here at Carmel the past couple of years. Is at Wisconsin right now. That's their biggest ability. Their biggest strong suit is being able to pick up some yards after that first contact. Fitzgerald fakes the handoff.
Great play there.
There you go. That's exactly what you want to see.
It's Pusateri, the sack master, who deflects it right away.
Yeah.
Big stop there.
Braden Jones got a little pressure there as well. Made Fitzgerald move, twitch a little bit, and that is what ended up happening, leading to Pusateri making a big play. Teamwork here is what you want to see, because now if a 4th down comes up, there's really no doubt about it that the Ramblers will most likely go for it. They have a big enough lead and a big enough field position here to risk it and go for it. Nonetheless, though, it's 2nd and 10 at the 28-yard line. Fitzgerald pump fakes, gets the pass off, it's complete. Number 10 for Loyola, Luke Foster. Excuse me, number 0. That's number 0, Will Carlson, senior receiver. Folks, we're going to take a little break here.
Man, only were someone to give me the answers for the test.
All right, Christos. Well, we just saw Braden Jones go down there. Hopefully he'll make it back into the game. You would hate to see it, not only a game-ending injury, but something that, carries on into the next couple of weeks.
In the meantime, captains Vince Cronin and Daniel Taylor will step up on the D-line here.
Well, not what we expected in the second quarter of this
Nope.
matchup, but I kind of like it. These are two aggressive guys. They may not have that natural ability at the D-line that Braden Jones does, but look at that play by
Great
Muha
tackle.
and Kanjar. Textbook wrap up
Oh,
there.
yeah. It's 2 plays now by Kanjar where he just read it perfectly. Stopped them dead in their tracks. It's 4th and 7, loss of 3 there.
Yeah, and I said it, man. If it's 4th down, they're going for it.
Oh,
no
yeah.
question. They immediately look to the sideline for the play. They're going to come out, switch over the formation a little bit. Keep looking for Kanjar, though. He's made 2 big plays tonight so far. Other than that, he's just been very consistent. Fitzgerald alone, trips left, 5 wide. Takes the snap for a 1st down.
Oh,
pressure
fumble.
right away. Loses the ball. It
Here we
goes
go. Here we
flying
go.
in the backfield. Picked up. No. Muha almost has his hands on it. The Ramblers eventually pick it up, but it doesn't matter. Turnover on downs. The Caravan will take over at exactly the 50-yard line.
What a play, Matt. That's the stop you need for the Caravan. We've been waiting for this. These are the game changers here. Now you just need to convert it on offense. But like you said, Matt, defense does win championships, and defense turns into offense.
Man, you could feel the silence there on 4th and 7. The Ramblers were about to score again, but no. That D-line, we didn't even have Braden. Unfortunately, due to that injury, we had that backup, not even really a backup, though. Vince Cronin, a very aggressive guy, come in there. That D-line made a huge play. Now Elliott and his offense have the ball at midfield. He takes the snap, rolls out left, pass complete to Burrell, makes a defender juke, miss, upfield. I like this, Christos.
Playing a little dance there, Matt. He's got quick feet.
Gotta love it. Look at that.
I've seen that a lot going out to the I feel like I keep seeing the same play over and over again. Deja vu with Burrell.
The guys are pumped up, man. We'll get some stats here soon for Burrell. I mean, that's 6 receptions for a little over 120 yards, excuse me. 3 of those receptions, though, came at the beginning of the game, that first opening drive.
Yeah, he had a 67-yard reception being as long as for the touchdown.
Let's keep going to him. Maybe Lehman, too. I don't know. How about Madden Wilson? You like it? That's a great run. That's not something you want to see. No flag thrown, though, so that's good for us. Madden, by no means, is the most experienced running back out there. But I will say, he has a very smooth way that he runs. Number 25 for the Caravan. You'll see a little more of him tonight. He's back out there again. DT takes a lot of snaps, too. They have a different way of playing the game. Elliott, bunch receivers on the right. He's going to run there. Opts not to throw it. He's tackled after gaining only about 2 yards. Here we go. Let's look at a replay of that. So he's holding it like he's going to throw it, but he was looking at down.
Yeah.
He was looking downfield, excuse me. Nobody was there. I think he was trying to fake out the defenders. He wasn't really able to do so, so that's only going to be a gainage of about 2 yards. When we come back, 3rd and 8 coming up for the Caravan. Let's see, maybe we can make it 21-14. I don't know, though. All right, folks, back at it. Had a little break there. Let's see what we got, though. Coach Brody, Coach Lynch talking over what we want to run now that we're back in Loyola territory. Trying to route the Ramblers here, get another score on their defense. Elliott, Wilson in his backfield. Going to pass it right away. Complete. Here comes the freshman, Martian Thornton. That's some pretty good coverage there by the Rambler defense, but this freshman has got some moves.
Yeah, it's his first reception of the game. They've targeted him a lot, though, early. And I'd like to see him just kind of heat up little by little. I think that could be a game changer.
Look at that separation between him and Donovan Robinson. That's a senior DB going up a freshman wide receiver.
Yeah.
And Marshawn does a great job getting that separation between him and Robinson. That's overall an incredible play that puts us further downfield. Elliott now, 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line, extremely close to the red zone. Let's see if we can get in here. Pressure right away, coming off the edge. Elliott just going to throw it away.
Wilson just barely bought him a little bit of time there with that little block. If that didn't happen, I think he would have been really bad for the Caravan.
Right. I think a little confusion there, but we're back at it. It's just going to be 2nd and 10. No change there at the line of scrimmage. Still at the 23-yard line. 6.5 minutes. There's plenty of time here. Like, it's going to be a slow burn, but in the sense that it's a shootout. These teams want to take time to try to score. Burrell out to the right, Thornton to the left. Wilson in his backfield. Elliott takes the snap. Pass out to the right. What a throw.
Yeah.
Dime in between 2 defenders. Burrell still on his feet, eventually gets pushed out of bounds.
Wow. That was a great pass, Matt. Gets it right over the head.
Look at there, defender right there, and then coming up behind him for the tackle. He breaks it, makes him fall, but is eventually pushed out of bounds.
Yeah.
Nice job there by Q.
Third and 2. See what kind of play call we get here from Coach Lynch.
With only 1 timeout left, time is ticking a bit. You got to be careful here with management.
Yep.
Scoring sooner, obviously, in any situation is what you want. Let's see if they can get in right now. Elliott, the bullet pass. Complete to Thornton. Yep. Looks to be, enough for a first down. They're going to move the chains. So off of 3rd and 2, we convert. Not quite yet there for 1st and goal. Getting closer and closer. We're at the 12-yard line, it looks like. 12 more yards. We'll make it 21-13. Let's see what they've got in store for us. Thornton out there to the right. This Loyola defense switching around.
Yeah.
You can see center Declan Gill calling out to his buddies on the O-line, trying to tell him what they should change. Elliott. There's pressure right away. Avoids the sack. Gonna run it out. Goes out of bounds, though.
It's a big play there, Matt.
Yeah.
Just narrowly out of bounds and then tiptoes his way down the sideline.
It's gonna be a loss of 2 yards, 3 yards, but that's a whole lot better than being sacked for 10.
Turn nothing into something.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. These defenders are pretty big from Loyola. They've got to be careful with the pass game here. An interception in the red zone would not only hurt the score, obviously, but also that feeling. Heading into halftime after not being able to convert here would be warning signs of disaster. Look at how many guys are in the box here. Loyola, they've got that 4-man front. That guy might pull off, though. You got to be worried about that pressure. Jack almost sees it out of the corner of his eye. That one's complete to Wilson, but really no yardage gained. Look at this replay. That is Charlie Daly, the linebacker senior for the Ramblers, just running full force at Elliott.
That brings up a 3rd and 3.
Third down, they gotta convert here.
Excuse me, 3rd and 12.
Wilson in the backfield, 2 guys out to the right, Burrell alone on the left. Motions out, Xander Gorman, the tight end. Wilson switches sides. Elliott takes the snap, immediately looks to pass to Burrell. We've got a little break, though.
It's all the way down at that 10-yard line by the Loyola sideline.
All right, well, that was against the Caravan, but they're going to have to fight back here, man. No loss on down, so it'll still be 3rd and long in a sense.
Yep.
Just add 5 more yards.
So 3rd and 15 at the 17-yard line. Let's see what Elliott can do for us here.
They switch up the receivers. Cozy's in the slot. Gorman motions out right. Elliott looking for a pass, rolls that way. Is it complete? No. In and out of the hands in the end zone. What could have been? The freshman Thornton. Wow, it's right there. Let's take a look at this angle. Out of the back of the end zone. The ball just, I didn't get a good look at it, but you know, it just barely hit his fingertips. Not a drop per se, just, you know, double coverage, right? It's hard to make that catch. It's even harder to make the throw, though.
So let's see, they're 4th and 15. They're not getting off the field. No, from this range, Nico can definitely make it, but
Got to weigh your options, right?
Got to weigh your options. Let's see what they do here.
Big risk, big reward. Under 4 minutes to go. Elliott, what's it going to be? Pass, middle of the end zone, too high. Brought down kind of funky there. Burrell, though, not able to pull it in. Defense going to come back out in the field, and Braden Jones is healthy enough to line up on that D-edge spot. No touchdown, though. Not what you want.
Yeah, well, they went for it.
You're gonna move past it, though. You gotta. Now your focus is on trying to just keep Loyola at those 21 points for the first half. Bone Crusher gonna start out here on this drive, number 79. Freshman for the Caravan. So we've got a freshman wide receiver with Marshawn Thornton, and then we've got a freshman nose guard with Caleb, the Bone Crusher Tucker.
Yeah, DT's in as well.
Fitzgerald hands it off. McPherson just won't go down.
There's a flag at the end of the play.
Got a couple guys banged up here.
Yeah.
I didn't see exactly what happened. A little too focused on McPherson getting down just before the 30-yard line. Both players here, these are Mount Carmel guys, so we'll take a break right here and see what that flag is.
Mount Carmel will host another open house this fall. Join us on Sunday, November 17th to tour our facilities, meet our students, and learn more about the incredible brotherhood of the Caravan. Register at www.mchs.org/visitmc.
All right, well, Christos, we've had a couple of injury timeouts tonight so far. We're hoping all these guys are okay on both sides of the ball. Just there, though, Bone Crusher, Caleb Tucker, and Javi Payne, they got hurt a little bit on that last play, so we're going to see a couple backups come in and try to stop these starters for the Ramblers. Fitzgerald guns it down the right sideline, incomplete, in and out of the hands of number 6, Gavin Vrodenberg. Yeah, that was some pretty decent coverage by Tavares Harrington there. He just stuck with him the entire way. You can see motioning over. Ball underthrown a little bit to move over his hands. All right, here we go. This is a big drive for the Ramblers. Time is of the essence, excuse me. That one pulled in by number 6, Vredenberg, guy that was just incomplete too.
Good tackle there by Roman Iguabike.
They have 2 timeouts, Christos.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's a great wrap-up. You let them go, and time is on their side.
So 3rd and 8 at the 19-yard line. These offenses are definitely slowing down here.
Yeah,
in the second quarter.
Deep on your own west side of the field, and now we have Daniel Taylor playing on the D line, which means we'll see a lot more of Wilson in the backfield, which means we're probably going to see a lot more pass game. Domino effect, man, right? That's what injuries can do,
Yeah.
but Fitzgerald in the backfield now.
Look at DT, he's almost getting right there.
Not brought down. That one pulled in by the Ramblers. Stays on his feet. This is number 0, Will Carlson. Goes horizontal past the 50, and he's brought down by Daniel Taylor.
Huge play for Loyola there. Yeah, bringing it out to the 48-yard line.
Jeez.
Of the Caravan.
That's, you know, it broke 2 big tackles. You know,
Yeah.
you got to bring him down, right? Yards after conflict is a huge thing. Here we go. Fitzgerald drops back, pressure from DT. Fitzgerald avoids it. Gonna roll out left. Still being chased down. Pass downfield is incomplete.
Ooh.
Almost pulled in. Looked like he had 2 guys that could have caught it. Ended up going to the farther one where Gavin Conjar had coverage. Let's take a look back at it. Avoids him there. Rolls out left. Little crossroads on the routes right here. You can't see it too well from that angle, but it was intended for McPherson, their running back. That would have been a huge play for him. Minute 30, 2 timeouts left. Can the Ramblers put another touchdown on that scoreboard and get an even bigger lead over the Caravan? We're going to see after this timeout. So now each team has 1. When we come back, 2nd and 10 at the opposite 48-yard line for Loyola. All right, Christos, we're back. Can the Ramblers score here? The Caravan sure hope they can't. They're going to do whatever they can to stop them. It's nice to have Braden Jones back, but we're missing the Bone Crusher. We hope he can come back and play later. Pass complete. Enough for the first. It's Carlson again. I mean, I kind of want to make the comparison there to Cooper Lehman. That's what Carlson seems to be like. I saw a little bit of it on film, but now in tonight's game, he's making those big plays. Hasn't scored yet, per se, but he's getting those first downs. He's moving the chains. He's Mr. Reliable.
Yeah.
Here we go. Twins right. Pretty spread out. Heavy backfield. Fitzgerald drops back to pass. Has plenty of time. That one, almost intercepted. That would have been Jackson Barron's number 8 for the Caravan, but the ball just goes flying after the conflict there.
The Caravan got lucky there. There was, I don't know if you saw, there was no one covering him. They had to sprint out to cover him. He was wide open before the snap.
You can see Xander and
they're talking it over.
Xander and Conjar. Xander's an incredible leader overall. I think he has the ability to talk to these younger guys, whether you're a junior, senior, or junior, sophomore, excuse me, or in this case a freshman. He knows how to talk to them, and not talk down, but talk to them.
Yeah.
Let's see. The DB coverage might be a little better on this play just because of that mistake. Hopefully it made him better. Fitzgerald drops back, pressure right away, avoids it. Nope. Gonna have to avoid it again. Runs it out left. No pass this time. Just a run for a first down and a little bit more. Stopped at the 25-yard line.
47 seconds left. The clock is stopped there. But both teams have a timeout.
And I was just about to say that Loyola will most likely use it sometime here, unless they get their hurry-up offense going and get a man in the end zone.
Need a stop here.
First down after that big run from Fitzgerald. They don't like the play call. Going to go back to a new one. McPherson in the backfield, trips right. Fitzgerald, little pressure there by Jones.
Oh,
he gets
almost
a
had
hand
him.
on him.
Now
There we go.
Get him.
Pulls him down. That's a big sack. Braden Jones running across the backfield, but eventually gets it. Christos, that's incredible. The USC commit. Man, he's having a great season so far.
Great game, too. He's got 2 sacks in the first half.
Heading into tonight's game, he was playing great overall. Braden Jones, here we go. 1 sack through 8 games now. He doubles that in just tonight. Overall, he had 24 tackles heading into tonight's game, one of them being for a loss. All right, well, timeout taken by the Ramblers. It's their last one of the half, 36 seconds. When we come back, 2nd and 17, Loyola going to try to go for it, shoot for the end zone, or maybe just run out the half and see what things look like in the third quarter. All right, ladies and gents, 2nd and 17 here for the Ramblers. Just took a timeout to talk over things. Christos, what should we expect here?
Ramblers are just going to keep rambling on.
There we go.
But, yeah, Matt, took their last timeout now, so no more stops. You're just going to be looking for a lot of sideline passes. Probably no runs here, as we've seen all game.
Yeah, I think they might attack a mismatch here. Trips right. They're going to be looking to find the open man. Fitzgerald looks left. Complete to Carlson, short of the first down.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's Caravan ball.
Interception by Tavares Harrington.
I might have been a fumble.
I don't know.
Let's take a look at the replay here, folks, but it's Caravan ball.
I think he pulled the ball out of Carlson's hands. I thought he was down. Let's take a look at this.
Hold up.
Ball comes loose. So now the only question is, did he have possession before that ball came loose?
Yeah, they called it back.
Yeah.
Ref made a quick call.
I was going to say, I thought. Okay. Well, yeah, he didn't have possession, but third down coming up. Man, the ref is he's getting me excited for no reason. Here we go. would have had 30 seconds there for the Caravan offense to come back out and try to score. Instead, the Ramblers are going to stay out there and try to make their way down to the end zone. Still at the 33-yard line. It's 3rd and 17. If they don't get this, then 4th down becomes a little iffy. Fitzgerald. Light backfield. Light pressure as well. No, he's got to roll out. Pass. Does he? Got it. No.
Oh, what's the flag? There is a flag.
He lost it in the end zone. Gavin Conjar did an incredible job there. I do believe that flag is going to be called against him.
You know what? I thought that was good defense. Let's see what they say here.
Flag on the play. We'll get the call here soon. Oh, man. That was just an overall great job by the defense. They're still talking it over. This won't be a 1st down still, but I mean, okay. We apologize for that, folks. All right, well, that is against the Caravan. We apologize for no audio there. We'll have to check that at halftime. Right now, though, there's 19 seconds left in the half. Ramblers are just going to switch personnel here. Little
going for the field goal,
hey,
yeah.
I don't mind. Okay, it's actually 4th down, excuse me. 4th and 2. Yeah, 4th and 3 it would be. 4th and 3. Still a little confusion maybe. They put the field goal unit out there. They're still talking to the refs. I think they're going to stay out there. Yeah, number 20. Geez. Number 20 for okay, never mind.
What is going on? You know what? The refs are a little thrown off, too. It's a big game for them, Matt. We'll give them a break here.
I don't really know. Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I said 3rd down, and I thought I was right when I first said it. But, yes, it is 3rd down. It is 3rd and 3 after that 15-yard penalty. 3rd and 2, sorry. So Fitzgerald will stay out there. They'll get one more chance to get a 1st down. If they don't get it here, they'll most likely kick a field goal. Fitzgerald trips right, little tight there with the tight end. The box pressure caught inside the 5, a little more. Got to bring him down.
Ball came loose after the whistle, though.
He was done. 10 seconds left on the clock. 1st down.
The clock is running. They kind of forgot about that.
I think that like fumble with air quotations around that kind of tricked them up a little here. They'll just spike it. And now there's 6 seconds left on the clock. What a weird game, man. I think the game overall has been pretty straightforward, what we expected, but this drive has definitely been unique. And this is when time management comes into play, when a lot of timeouts, both injury and those taken by the head coaches, those affect the game. They have a huge impact on momentum, how guys are feeling, those receivers staying warm. Right now, though, something that needs to stay warm for the Ramblers is Zeman's leg. Kick is up. It's just a routine one for him.
Yeah.
24-7. There's 2 seconds left on the clock, but, I mean, that's going to be the score heading into halftime.
Yeah, Caravan ought to just take a knee here. Maybe a little run play.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a touchback. They're not going to kick him at him and take the risk, so we'll see. But most likely when we come back from halftime, your score will be 24-7. I don't know, though. Anything can happen, especially in 2 seconds. When that clock hits 0, maybe the ball will still be alive. All right, folks, we're back. Here we go. You know, you got Burrell and Thornton back there instead of Lehman. Usually it's Burrell and Lehman, but I like the little switch up with the freshman back there. All touchbacks tonight. Caravan have not returned a kick, while Loyola has. And when they did, it was a pretty big return. They brought it back to the Caravan's 30-yard line. We're hoping for a little bit more than just the 30-yard line here, folks. We want a big play. But if we don't get one, then time will just run out, and that'll be the score heading into the half. Zeman just made that field goal. Not going to take it. Touch back. Yeah, this is a tricky situation. We're going to have to think this over, Christos. But, man, approaching the second half mentally there's going to be a little more stress on the Caravan there. When they're back in the locker room thinking things over, I think it's going to be a little less carefree than that Rambler locker room. Takes a knee. So nothing there. That's the end of the first half. Christos, this has been just a weird game so far, but your score heading into halftime is 24-7. The Ramblers have a lead right now. When we come back, the Ramblers will be receiving the ball.
Caravan fans, welcome to your halftime show. The score is 24-7. The Loyola Ramblers lead so far. It's been a bit of a disappointing game for the Caravan, as they've been pretty much dominated by Loyola in all facets of the game so far. Loyola has been able to really push the ball downfield, using all of their receivers, and the Caravan's defensive backs haven't had any answers so far. The tackling technique's been a little bit poor, and they've really been able to break this game loose by just pushing the ball down the field with those long receptions. And offensively, Quentin Burrell got the offensive scoring started with a receiving touchdown, but we haven't been able to finish the drive since. So it's been a bit of a disappointing game for the Caravan, but I still feel like we're not that far from playing on Loyola's level in the second half. We just have to execute and focus on getting out hot in the second half, carrying that momentum, and hopefully winning this game, getting back in it. Because a 17-point game is really nothing in high school football. This game is likely going to be dictated by big plays, and this game could break loose at any moment. So the Caravan just need to remain patient and try to remain calm and focused amidst this kind of difficult circumstance. Because look, a Catholic League Blue Championship is on the line. You got to keep fighting no matter what. And there's 24 minutes left in football. It's a lot left. So I think the Caravan really got to lock in, and I think they're capable because the adversity we faced this season with losses against Hunt and Brother Rice, I think it's prepared us to be able to come from behind, to battle a slow start. So I think we'll be all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, after a very eventful first half here at Barda-Dowling Stadium, the Ramblers have a hefty lead over the Caravan, 24-7, and they will be getting the ball to start off the second half. Christos, it's been a rough night for the Caravan, injury-wise, defensively-wise. Overall, momentum has not been on their side, and it usually isn't in the first half. These guys are not only a second-half team, they're a third-quarter team. This is when they come out. This is when they shine. Yeah.
You're exactly right, Matt. Yeah, you talked about those injuries with Bone Crusher, Javi, and Joey Quinn. Braden Jones played extremely well, though, on the defensive line. He had a few tackles and 2 sacks. Keys for the Caravan. You just got to keep going to Thornton, keep going to Lehman, keep going to Burrell. Find what works.
Yeah, I really like that we have a lot of young talent we can rely on, especially in a big game like this. Overall, the vibe has been fantastic. The student section showed up today. They had flashlights for the pregame. When the lights went black, they went out. The fans really showed up. It's the 3rd year in a row these guys are playing for the division title. I mean, Christos, what do you think happened in that locker room for the Caravan? What were some words said that's got to get these guys motivated to come out and really beat these guys in the rubber match?
It's a great match, Matt. I mean, this is personal. It's personal. You got to play from the heart. That's all you got to say.
Yeah, I'm sure the coaches were telling the guys in the locker room exactly that. We're going to jump into kickoff soon for the second half here. Once again, the Ramblers are getting the ball. We'll see you back down on the field. All right, folks, back at it here. Kickoff for the second half between these two rival teams. Ramblers going to be receiving it. Last time they received a kickoff, they returned it to the opposite 30-yard line. Here comes Robinson. A couple of men to beat. It's not going to be the opposite 30, but it's still going to be better field position than if they were to just let that ball go.
Matt, that was a great hustle there by number 18. That's Emmett Winters out of St. Cadgenan. Doesn't see as much playing time, but, man, he made the best of it right there. Huge play because Robinson had a ton of field, ton of green space in front of him. Got to give props to it, to Winters.
All right, here we go. Well, the Caravan are 0 for 3, on fourth down. And I know their offense isn't out there right now, but that's going to be a huge impact to see what they're going to do on fourth down if a situation like that comes up in the third or fourth quarter. Fitzgerald, one man in his backfield, reverse motion. Handoff, McPherson out to the right side. Bumps up at the 40, goes vertical. Short gain, but a gain nonetheless. Christos, I mean, you just got to watch out for McPherson here. He's a weapon, right? He can run it, he can catch it, and he can certainly see the defense. He reads through them. He knows which gaps to hit. He knows which gaps are open. He knows where his blocking assignments are. Overall, just a very well-rounded player. We'll see if he gets the ball here again. The Ramblers are lined up in trips left, though. Fitzgerald pass complete, just past the 50. That's a big hit. And DT got lit up a little bit there. Gonna walk it off, though. This is interesting, Christos, right? We thought Daniel Taylor Jr. was going to be our primary running back tonight. Turns out he's playing on the defense and the D-line. He's, you know, a Swiss Army knife to an extent. I mean, he's played a lot of positions. Freshman year, tight end, moved on into kind of a mix of certain things, found himself on the D-line with Coach Grubasic, and now he's a running back. But tonight, due to injury and other things like that, DT's lining up here trying to put some pressure on Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald's not going to be the one there with the play. It's instead McPherson out to the right side. Enough for a first down. Vince Cronin going to run out here, get a little substitution. Never mind. He's going to come back off.
Good tackle there by Gorman. Just couldn't get there in time before the first down marker. Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, you're seeing some new guys like DT who's replacing Joey Quinn. And Jackson Barons as well. Almost had that interception in the end zone.
Exactly right, Christos. Fitzgerald takes the snap. It's a run up the middle by McPherson. Dog pile, gain of about 4 yards.
Now we keep talking about McPherson, but I keep thinking back to that first half play where I believe it was like a 4th and 3 or something, and he just goes right out to the right side on the 17-yard line, just goes right out to the right side and goes into the end zone, barrels his way through.
Yeah.
As you said it, but just made nothing into something there.
Yeah.
Great running back for Loyola.
Guys like that who are committed to schools with, you know, the power like Iowa, they do exactly that, turn nothing into something. And at a high school level, that's all you can ask for. Pass is complete. Was wide open, mid-range, number 6 for the Ramblers here. That's Gavin Vradenberg. He's had a pretty eventful night. No scores or nothing, but hey, I mean, he's been getting a couple of first downs, a couple of grabs here from Fitzgerald.
If you're the Caravan defense here, you cannot let them just keep rolling down, because now you know kicker's got a bit of a leg, and with a comfortable lead, they'll be fine with just kicking some of these 4th downs.
3 points for a 20-point lead doesn't sound that bad. Fitzgerald, handoff, McPherson, stuffed, but he just keeps pushing. Yeah, Daniel Taylor will come back out here. Let's take a look back. This is where running backs kind of exceed expectations, is that those yards after that first conflict, that first hit, if you can get upfield, even if it's just 3 or 4 yards, that's huge, you know? You're getting closer towards a first down, and as a running back, you're not going to get many opportunities to do that, especially if you're running it up the middle, those close gaps to the center. Fitzgerald, motions over, couple guys, stacked receivers here, designed run play out to the right. Doesn't really work. Not enough for a first down. Caravan defense does a great job there, kind of reading through it.
Big 3rd down here, Matt. Be a 3rd and 5, looks like.
Well, I mean, everybody's kind of looking at each other. You know, the Caravan are down by a substantial amount of points. This is where they got to act up and get a big play.
And this is where your leaders step up, too.
Definitely.
Me looking at guys like Braden Jones and Matt Muha.
Fitzgerald going to drop back. 5 wide. Pressure right away!
Yeah.
Tristan Pusateri. They don't call him the sack master for nothing, Christos.
Yeah, baby. The sack master gets another one. Took the South Shoreline straight to Barda-Dowling for that one.
Jeez. Came off the edge. Oh, my. Fitzgerald never had a chance. Didn't see him from the blind side. An incredible wrap up there for number 28 in the Caravan. I was just talking about it. I said you need a big play. if you ever needed one now, I mean, if you ever needed one, it's right now.
Yeah.
And Tristan Pusateri, like you said, leaders on this team, senior leaders, they're going to take it, grab it, run with it. That's exactly what he just did there.
This is their last jab at Loyola. They got to give it everything they got.
Okay. Burrell fumbles the punt return. Loyola thinks they have it.
Let's see here.
From the look of things, there was more Ramblers in the area than members of the Caravan. This isn't great. No,
Flag now.
Those are fun. Quentin has the ball after the big dog pile.
Let's see what this flag is, though.
After the play was over, dead ball. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, Mount Carmel. Half the distance to the goal line, first down.
All right, well, half the distance to the goal line, which means that after a pretty decent punt by number 20 for the Ramblers, Zach Zeman, he already pinned him down inside the 5, and now they have to move back even further. It is Caravan ball, though, and honestly, after that mishap, that kind of fumble, I'm glad it's still in our hands.
Yeah, bit of a relief.
Elliott in his own end zone with Wilson in his backfield. Just going to run it. Nice job by Madden there.
Yeah, good
decent
pickup.
amount. At about the 9-yard line is where they're going to spot it. It's always a scary formation. You never know what can happen out of that. A safety, fumble picked up for a touchdown by the defense, or maybe even a pick 6 coming off of the corner on a short pass route. Right, but they just run it, take things as they come, go real slow. Nice job by Madden there. But now they're just going to have to keep fighting and fighting downfield. This could be a real long possession if the Caravan play it right, folks.
Elliott 11 for 25, 182 yards, and a touchdown tonight.
That's a pretty decent stat line considering how he played against Loyola last year. Wilson up the middle again. That's enough for a first down and a little bit more.
Big run there for Wilson. Yeah, he's getting all the snaps now as the primary running back. Powers through that one.
Look at that replay there. Just lowers his shoulder, knows the hit's coming. Tape on his arm ripped a little bit. Elliott. That's a tight formation. Just going to run it again up the middle. Why not? Madden doing a great job there. You can see he takes a couple jab steps when he hits the gap because he's looking for where to go next. You'll see him. Look, he just stops right there, a couple jab, finds the open space and runs. I think somebody with less talent than Madden, a little less experience, would just run straight through to the open space that's already there. They wouldn't stop and read to look where maybe the most optimal route is. Madden does that and picks up more yards than expected. Second and short, 3 yards to go for the first down. Elliott going to pass for the first time this drive. Incomplete to Cooper. He had it in his hands, just went through. A little high there, but in and out of the hands. You gotta pull those in, Christos, especially in a game time situation like this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I like the opening drive here though. 3 run plays, slowing it down a bit, just trying to relax the nerves.
Relax the nerves is correct, Christos. The Ramblers, they're up by a hefty amount of points. Caravan, it's almost like they got nothing to lose here, right? Maybe that's the attitude they want. Burrell pulls it in, breaks a tackle, spins around 2 or 3 times. And that's a great job there by the sophomore receiver.
They've been going to him all night, Matt, and
Yeah.
it's working.
I mean, the Rambler defense did a decent job there. Caravan, though, just going to keep picking up more yards. So that's a great way to bounce back. I know Burrell didn't turn it over, but that punt definitely didn't go the way he wanted it to. Had to dive for the ball on the ground inside his own 5-yard line. Now they're just going to keep running it. I'm pretty glad I talked to Madden earlier this week. We didn't really expect. Oh, okay.
What a flop. I don't care, Matt. That's a terrible flop by Loyola there.
Yeah, I'm glad I talked to Madden earlier this week because he's getting a lot more reps now than we thought he would in a big game like this. Yeah,
definitely. Just want to give a quick update of another huge game we mentioned, the East St. Louis IMG It's tied right now, 7-7, with 2 minutes to go. 7-7 in the fourth quarter.
I think overtime might be calling there. You know, I don't know. Overtime in East St. Louis down south, that'd be pretty interesting against a nationally ranked opponent. Elliott, pass, complete. Breaks the tackle, aggressive. Gets the first down as well, out of bounds just before the 40-yard line.
Man, he just throws him down. That was nasty there by Burrell.
Jeez. Let's take a look at this. Pulls it in, pretty average catch. What's not so average about him is the stiff arm to the crown against a DB that's probably a few years older than him.
Almost shoved in Father Jim's younger brother there.
Okay.
On the sideline, but here you go.
Elliott.
Oh!
Caught by Lehman.
And a flag.
Flag on the play, but wow. Lehman pulls it in at around the 35-yard line. That's not one you expect somebody to catch. We're working 9 to 5 here, Christos. That's what I got to say.
9 to 5. That's a great connection we've been seeing all season.
And number 31 from the Ramblers, Max Mendoza, the senior linebacker, he had a hand on it. So that's a flag against Loyola, but he had Mendoza had a hand on the ball, but Lehman just kept his eyes on it. It's an incredible grab, pulls it in, and now the Caravan are in position to score here. That's exactly what you need. They're eating up a lot of the time at this clock, Christos. It was around under 7 minutes to go when they got it back from that punt. Elliott. Big pass down the right side. I believe
that was close, man.
Doesn't pull it in. They keep shooting for the end zone with this freshman, Marshawn Thornton, and it just really hasn't worked. Maybe one of these connections soon will turn out positive for the Caravan.
Yeah. See here, Matt. Look at this replay. That was a great ball. That was right on the numbers.
Right.
Yep.
He had his left arm trying to create some separation, and then when it hit his right hand, he didn't have anything else there to pull it in. So a great effort nonetheless. Still nothing too bad. 2nd and 10, Elliott with Wilson in his backfield. Looking to pass it immediately. Lehman right at the middle of the field. That'll be no gain there.
Yeah, back to about 3rd and 10 still.
That's an interesting play. I really don't think we've seen something like it. We've seen a couple of trick plays with Cooper, though. A little flea flicker, you know, reverse, double reverse. Haven't seen that one, though. 3rd and 9, 1 yard gained on that play. We have 12 total first downs tonight. 24 rush yards, which lower than expected, to be honest. But, hey, the Ramblers only have 21, so. Elliott drops back. Pass on the middle of the field. That's complete, but he was hit hard on the shoulder there. There you go. I don't think it's enough for a first down, but Lehman is showing up on this opening drive of the second half here, folks.
Yeah. Let's see where they'll place him. That'll be a 4th and 2.
Real close here, yeah. 4th and short, like you said. Elliott in his backfield. Still got Wilson out there. I like how we're sticking with Madden, saving DT for the defensive side of things. Burrell out right and Lehman left. This is a formation we've seen a couple scoring plays come from. Burrell doesn't have it. I think it was a close one for sure, Christos. That's one you're going to think about later on tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately so, Matt.
Let's take a look back at it. I just don't, you know. We keep shooting for this east end zone, right? We keep shooting it with Thornton, with Burrell. Just nothing can connect. Well, that was 4th down, so now the Ramblers are able to take over. There's a minute and 23 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. I know there's plenty of football left, Christos, but it's getting late.
Yeah.
You know, time is ticking. When you're down 24-7 like this, you got to get things going. That pass right there could have ignited something, but instead the fire has just got to be wait to be lit.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Perfectly said, Matt.
Fitzgerald. Thank you, man. Here we go. Fitzgerald. Nope. No good, incomplete. Number 6 there for the Ramblers, trying to pick it up. Pass a little low for Vredenberg.
Just going to give a quick update, Matt, on some of the other Catholic League games tonight. Brother Ice is up 21-7 at the end of the third quarter against St. Ignatius. Marist won in a blowout against Niles Notre Dame, 34-0. They'll finish the season 8-1. And Rita is up 28-6 against IC Catholic Prep at the start of the fourth.
Well, if you told me that no matter what, heading into tonight's game, Marist was going to have a better record than both Loyola and Carmel.
Would not believe you, Matt.
Wouldn't believe you. I truly believe this was going to be a rebuild year for Marist, and they just took what they had and ran with it. Kind of like how the Ramblers are right here with McPherson. Running upfield, hefty gain, coming up on a minute left in the third. He's just very good at finding the gaps.
Yeah.
Braden gets his hands on him, but he's so far outside of the box that he's just, when he hits up vertical, like downfield, he just, you know, it's going to take somebody head on to bring him down. Take a look here. Jack Elliott and Cooper Lehman talking over the last drive. Hopefully on the next one they can connect for a score.
A little more of that 9-to-5 action.
Exactly. Fitzgerald, complete. That's a couple of Caravan defenders there. Well, you know, Christos, I really think it kind of it hurt us that we are not a first quarter team. Look at the points that have been scored so far. Most of them come from that first quarter. It was a slow burn. It was a really drawn out first quarter, really drawn out offensive drives. Loyola was able to take advantage of their possession time more so than the Caravan did. 24-7, that's what it looks like it's going to be heading into the fourth and final quarter of the day. All right, here we're back from that timeout. Change of quarters there. You can't do that. It's against the rules. Helps out Mount Carmel. All right, well.
One of the only, we haven't had too many of the yellow things on the field tonight. I kind of just realized that.
I hate them. I don't like them.
It's been a pretty clean game, though, for both sides.
I mean, the players probably hate it, too. Even if it's not against your team, it just ruins the momentum. Obviously, the start of the quarter, not much momentum is going into it, say, than other plays, but this is what it's going to be, Christos, in the fourth quarter. They're just going to keep running the ball with McPherson, trying to get time off the clock. Yeah. At least we got Braden Jones out there. Had an interesting injury earlier this game, but got healthy. Now he's back out there playing.
As well as Bone Crusher.
Yep.
Joey Quinn is still out.
Yeah, we're going to have to see later on, but a couple switches. And defense there. Yeah, okay. Here comes the sack master, Tristan Pusateri, watching the outside. They have to pass it. Interesting call, but it ends up paying off.
Oh. Yeah, we both saw that.
That'll be against Xander. Yeah. Oh,
That's tough, man. Right when you get a decent stop, would have been a 3rd and long. And
After the play was over, dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 27 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
yeah, 3rd and long turns into a first down.
You just can't have that. I mean, we're a minute into the fourth quarter, and Loyola already has a scoring drive set up. That is not what you want when you're down by a margin this wide. 24-7, folks. The Caravan have had opportunities here to make it 14, maybe 10 points on their side. They're still just stuck at 7. It's going to take 3 scoring drives, and more than that, it's going to take the defense to come up with some huge plays. Christos, over the break, you said they're doing everything you can ask of them. There's not much more they can do. Obviously, getting rid of penalties like that is something, but McPherson just going to run it upfield. Stays on his feet. Nobody can bring this guy down.
Yeah, he's violent. He reminds me a bit of Dupree. When Dupree would run, he would kick out, man, like his life depended upon it. McPherson, look at that.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. These guys that are ready for college ball do what McPherson and Dupree do.
You would rather die than be brought down, and you got to appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, the Ramblers end up scoring on this drive. It'll be signs of even further disaster and warning for the Caravan. Right now, you just got to take things slow. Takes a snap. It's another handoff to McPherson. No surprise there.
Didn't go anywhere that time.
Yeah. Plays like these matter, though, Christos. Just chipping away at the defense's energy like this. Loyola can do this all quarter long, Got to come away with the score soon. If the Caravan don't score within the next 2 or 3 minutes, things get rough. Chances of winning become slim. Caravan haven't been held to 7 points, or really less than 10 this entire season. From what I can remember, I can't think back to a time in which they were held to 7 points like this to finish a game. I know there's probably one. Maybe when we were little kids at Gately, something like that. But here at Barda-Dowling, those games like those are rare.
Yeah. I've never seen them have, I think that Rice game with 14 points earlier in the season was about as low as you get offensively, even in the past few years.
I mean, they were right there with us, though. This is a little bit different. They've got a lot quicker, too. This game started off from the gun, these two teams were great. That's just energy and momentum. We've got a little injury, I think, here. Hopefully Bone Crusher's all right. Yeah, he's running off the field. That's a good sign. But, you know, back to what I was saying, I mean, I just can't remember a time. You know, I can't remember a time. But neither for the Ramblers, too. I know they had a couple of tough seasons, maybe a decade ago. Since then, they've just been an absolute powerhouse for 8A. But
4th and 4. You need this stop for the Caravan.
This is where it starts. Fitzgerald drops back, pass. McPherson gets upfield.
First down.
Inside the 10, just about before it. It's hard to say something, right? Because I feel like we're just being pretty repetitive right now. I mean, there's not much more the defense can do. They're doing their best. McPherson's a dog, I'll say it. You know, watching this kid, his film, and now actually seeing him. He's only a junior, too, so he's still got a lot of football left in high school, and then, of course, on into college. But Fitzgerald takes a snap. It's a handoff, running out the clock. Yeah, inside the 10 now.
Jeremy Harris going out there for the Caravan DLM. And there's Vince Cronin, number 55.
Danish.
Danish.
Danish. I think he says that every time he talks. He just that's how he ends every sentence. I love it. Fitzgerald drops back to pass. Little surprise there. Brought in. Jackson Barons takes him down right away. That is number 6. We've seen a lot of him tonight. Vredenberg. Gavin Vredenberg, the senior wide receiver for Loyola. Again, doesn't really score often, but he can get in a couple of big plays.
Does his job.
Yeah.
3rd and 3 now.
Loyola's had the ball the entire quarter. They're just burning out the clock. There's not much else to say. It's now 6 minutes left in the game, and the Caravan's chances of winning are becoming slimmer and slimmer. They need something right here on 3rd and 3 for the Ramblers. The Caravan have got to do something.
Timeout, Loyola. Their first charge timeout.
It's interesting, but understandable at the same time. Loyola going to take a timeout. When we get back, the ball will be on the 5-yard line in enemy territory. The Ramblers, 3rd and 3.
The high school entrance exam will take place on Saturday, December 7th at 8 a.m. 8th graders are highly encouraged to look into why Mount Carmel is a special place and might be the right fit for them. Join the Caravan. Join our brotherhood.
All right, folks, we're back here. Loyola deep in Caravan country. They're trying to score yet again. Run out to the left side. McPherson will make it 30-7. Well, you never want to call a game, right? You never want to say it's over early, but the Caravan, they've got to pull themselves together and these next 5 minutes and 49 seconds have to be absolutely perfect.
I mean, this can be crucial for playoffs, Matt. You need some sort of momentum.
Right.
Need at least a scoring drive. Give yourself something going into playoffs. They'll be playing who knows for the first round.
Right, yeah. Most likely away.
Yeah.
Right, you know,
yeah.
we'll infer it, but 31-7 is your score after that extra point is good. Yeah, the playoffs are weird when it comes to high school football. Guys can move up and down, 6A, 7A, 8A. They can be undefeated, and yet somehow teams with 1 or 2 losses are still ranked higher than them. With the Caravan, though, things are a little bit different. If they lose tonight's game, they'll be 6-3, which is the worst record they'll have in the past 3 years. They still have a shot at the title, though. Still have a shot at the state championship. They'll be in that 7A group. If they can somehow, hopefully, pull themselves back into this game in the next 5 minutes and 49 seconds, maybe they'll take down Loyola, get that 7th win, and just keep rambling on into the playoffs, and then they'll probably have a higher chance of playing at home for the first round.
Definitely. Just need to see something, though, Matt. Like I said, need a confidence booster of some sort.
Yeah, 7 total points against the Ramblers. It's just kind of disappointing. You know, I'd say if they can get just 1 more touchdown, you know, it's all you need, right? Try to get something going here off of the kickoff after McPherson puts it in for 6. Zeman now boots it away. Just a line drive. They're not even going to try at that one. Really can't.
As that touchback occurs, we got word. IMG beat East St. Louis by 1, 14-13. So, you know what? I think that says a lot more. I think that's a win for East St. Louis, though, to lose by 1 to the number 6 team in the country. It says a lot about you.
That's insane. You know, a few years ago, back in 2021, East St. Louis lost that game 48-9. That just shows how much their program has grown in the past couple of years. And I know a couple complications with special teams came up in that loss, but hey, losing by 1 point, no matter if it's 7-6 or 14-13 like it was then, that's still an incredible game for East St. Louis. And man, they're gonna dominate in the playoffs, right? Cary Grove seems to be kind of their kryptonite almost, but maybe this is the year they kind of break that tradition almost, if you will.
As Q gets close to that marker, you're totally right, Matt. I think they're the clear favorites. They should be able to take care of business, and I think it's personal for them.
Absolutely. Talk about personal. I mean, the Caravan are kind of playing for pride now. I don't know what's going on there. They're just kind of playing for pride now. They're trying to move downfield, put another score on the board. Christos, you talked about it, though. Not going for that field goal earlier was crucial. Because, yeah, it could be 31-10 right now, but that field goal would have given them a little more momentum. Because knowing that you scored on 2 drives rather than 1 really boosts your confidence for some of these guys. And when incomplete, intended for Lehman.
Yeah, I agree, Matt. And I get the play call, too. It's a 4th and 15. You're down by 2 touchdowns at that point. You're trying to make up some ground, which would have definitely, played a role later on in the game. But 3 points in that first half, at least in the moment, could give you a boost. So, never know. I could see both ways.
4 minutes and 35 seconds remain. Talking about both ways, man. Elliott is just trying to stay on the right path here. He throws it complete to Xander Gorman. It's okay. Brought down by the Ramblers there. Short gain now. And that clock is running. You can't let that happen. The Caravan have 3 timeouts. I'm sure they'll use some of them left, right? I think if you don't, you're admitting a defeat in some sort of way. you got to hurry up here, you know. I mean, 4 minutes to go, you're down by this margin. The game ain't over, though, you know.
It ain't over.
Elliott takes the snap, fakes that handoff, pass out right, complete to Thornton. It's a first down, and the Ramblers are doing a great job. I mean, that's coaching right there. Holding on to him in a situation like this in the game. Doing that allows more time to come off the clock, which benefits them in return.
That pass out to Thornton. It's had a quiet game, Matt, and we talked about it. You need to get him going for the Caravan late in the season if you want to win these games. Here we go. Here's a big one.
How about now? It's a flag on the Ramblers, but still, we've seen that a lot tonight. The ball going in and out of the hands of number 80 freshman Marshawn Thornton.
Best interference. Defense, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. That results in a first down.
Okay. You heard the man. Caravan moving downfield. 3 minutes and 21 seconds left, though. They got to pull themselves together and do something here.
Been noticing Zion Elliott's kind of limping through the finish line here. He's hurting, Matt, but he's pushing through. Got to respect that.
Yeah, he adds a lot of depth there at left tackle. It was a position that changed a lot early on in the season. And that one was just swatted away by the Ramblers, number 31, Max Mendoza. Well, I'll say overall this game hasn't lived up to the expectations of the past 2 years. Those games were close the entire way. Neither team really had a huge lead. Tonight the Ramblers they made a statement, you know. I just props to them for coming out early. I think they definitely played on the fact that the Caravan don't do that. They do not come out early. They're not a first quarter team. They are a second half team, but right now we're trying to see some of that. We haven't really so far. Elliott trips left, Burrell out there wide. Pressure right away, gets the throw off though. Just a little miscommunication or something. There's just really nobody in the area.
And intended receiver was Lehman there. He's got 5 receptions for 75 yards tonight. Caravan got 255 passing yards, but just 26 rushing yards.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a big difference.
Yeah. Let's see here. Elliott dishes it off. Huge hit there. Number 41 for the Ramblers. Colin Drake, linebacker, senior. God. Well, I interviewed Coach Lynch earlier this week, and I know I've mentioned it before, but one of the biggest questions I had for him was, which team was more motivated, the one that won 2 years ago against Loyola or the one that lost? And he said the one that lost. The way things are looking right now.
Sideline warning against Loyola. That is their first.
Okay. Looking at things right now, the Caravan, yeah, it'll be a miracle if they win right now. So I really hope this loss just boosts them forward and motivates them to do well in the playoffs, because they did
Please reset the play clock to 25. Thank you.
They did clinch that spot with the amount of wins they have so far in the regular season.
I'll tell you this, Matt. Some losses under your belt going in the playoffs can be a good thing. Facing adversity early on, just knowing how to handle stuff like that when it's in crunch time.
I mean, they're going to look back at this night and remember it.
So flag down at about the 40.
If that's against the Caravan, though, it will be Rambler ball just past the 30-yard line in their own territory. Yeah.
During the return, illegal blindside block, number 18. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
Okay, well, you know, Rambler ball, they'll be moved back a bit, though, so not past the 30 this time, the 20 instead. Maybe a little further. Yeah. Well, 2.5 minutes to go. the defense is out there. I think we've got some guys that don't get a lot of PT. Derek Murray sticks out to me right there.
He's been strong for them, though, all
Absolutely,
season.
yeah.
As well as Garrett Mann out there, number 40.
All right, well. Two and a half minutes winding down. Makes you think, man. Makes you think. This one stings, though, right? Because it wasn't even close. If we went home with a 3-point loss, yeah, you can get upset and things, but at least it was a close game. This is just, it's tough.
You got to be fired up for playoffs, though. Coming off a loss like this stings.
I really hope these guys, especially the offense, instead of thinking right now down about themselves, I hope they're thinking positively. You know, they're thinking about the next step.
Yeah. Definitely, Matt. Yeah, it'll be an away matchup to start. Not sure where that'll be or who that'll be against yet. But it's a whole new season now. 0-0,
right.
starting after these 1 minute and 16 seconds to go. 0-0.
Win or go home.
Yep.
I mean, that's all it is.
And same for Loyola. None of the success. They'll be taking home the CCL Blue.
I mean,
caps off to them. They deserve it. But, you know, they'll have a target on their back just as much as we do.
Don't be surprised if these two teams find themselves down at Hancock Stadium late November, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened last year. Loyola beat Mount Carmel by 2 points. Both teams ended up winning in their respective classes for the state championship. These guys are getting ready to line up at the 50 to shake hands. We'll knee this one out. Final score from Barda-Dowling Stadium tonight in a huge CCL Blue Championship rematch, the rubber match at that. Loyola 31, Mount Carmel 7. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how things shake out with that selection show Saturday night. You can check it on your local listings through the IHS8 network. I really got nothing else to say. It was a dreary night, but there's a lot of things the Caravan can take away from this. I think Loyola can take away the fact that, they outplayed the Caravan over the past 3 years with all these rematches and everything. Christos, you got anything?
Just be ready for playoffs.
Yeah.
We'll keep you updated on where and when those occur.
Yeah,
and Caravan will still live to see another day.
Absolutely. If those playoff games are away, which some of them will be obviously, we're going to try our best to do some live Twitter updates so you can still get your info about the game. If it's a home game, though, we will be streaming it here, per usual, if it's early on enough in the bracket. This was an interesting night. Definitely one to take away. But that's the end of the regular season, folks. The Loyola Ramblers end 7-2. The Caravan end 6-3. We'll catch you later. We're going to have to digress this one a little bit. But like I said, final score 31-7. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great weekend, and good night, Chicago.
So long.